Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys led podcast. It is Friday, the 18th of April. It is, of course, Good Friday. We're going to make it great Friday. Hope you've got your battered fish out. Let's go. It's only just me, Joe McKenna, and Jason Higgins right now, holding fort. Comrade, come in there.
Hello.
How you feeling? You good?
I'm good, mate. Hail. How's things?
I'm good. We're running a skeleton crew right now. Marty Flynn's stuck at the swimmers. I don't know what that means. Like, I mean, for people who don't, do you call the leisure centre with the pool is the swimmers in Scotland?
Swimming pool.
I see. We would
we call it the baths.
I see. We would call it the swimmers, right?
Or the baths.
So Marty's stuck at the swimmers. Now that could mean maybe he's stuck. He's haggling because he doesn't want to pay, or he's got his pound coin stuck in the locker and he's trying to get it out, and or he's one of his armbands is deflated and he has to be rescued from the pool. We're not too sure yet, but he's going to be on the whale. Brought the kids to the swimmers, and he's the lead. So Scott's not on tonight because Scott does incognito. But Scott was on last week with the podcast, and we weren't on it. And I haven't listened to it. Jason, do you listen to it? Because we probably should have.
The what podcast? The one
Scott did last week.
Aye. Do you know what? I've listened to 3/4. It's really good. That guy that's been on before, Scott's mate, he was really, really good. Aye. Scott Martin, the lad, I can't remember the boy's name, but aye, really good.
I stuck it on while it was on live, like for a little bit in the house, but then I just got consumed by something else. Because I was at the dentist that evening, so I came home fucking talking like fucking Cary Grant, see, fucking talking like that, right? I just said my mouth. So just me and you. Marty's going to join us away. No Liam Power. Liam's out and about. What's Liam's crack?
Don't know.
Because it can't be tickets because Hamden's all done the app now. I mean,
aye. What do you mean tickets? The game's on Sunday.
I don't know. But you know what he's like? He's ticket king.
What are you talking about? He's not on the show tonight because he's dealing with tickets. I think he's fucking ticket master or something.
But here's the thing. Because I meet him to get our tickets off him, right? Me and Joseph, right? Because he has my season tickets, right? Well, the season tickets that we kind of share at this point. And then we've met him for tickets along the way. Joseph assumes that Liam has all of the tickets. So anytime, like I swear, and I mean this, like I don't mean just selling tickets. Yes, I mean all of the tickets. Like, right? So see when we were going to the fucking Bows and Shamrock Rovers game in Dublin, right? I says I got us tickets for the Shamrock Rovers Bows game. Me and you and your mate. Hey, and he goes, "Did you get them off Liam?" I was like, "No, I didn't fucking get them off Liam. I was like, got them off Ticketmaster." He goes, "Oh, I thought Liam did all the tickets for you." There you go.
Oh, jeez. There you go.
So we can't cover St. Johnson because that was obviously covered last week. You weren't at St. Johnson, were you?
No, I wasn't there, mate. No, but aye. Well, we've got the Kilmarnock game. That's about a whack, really, isn't it? But I don't think I've been on. I thought the last time I was on a show.
The last podcast would have been, well, I mean, I'd say probably 3 weeks ago we've been on. I mean,
I don't even know if I've been on the last couple, but I can't really remember. But there you go.
Well, that's a good thing. We can't remember because most of the shit we talk is not worth remembering anyway.
No, the only person that's worth remembering is Liam. Forgets fuck all.
100%.
Aye.
Right. So I mean, Kilmarnock. Here, a couple of hangs as well. Like I don't know if anybody has covered John's win on this podcast.
There you go. But it's a podcast. There's no reason why they should have been covering it. Let's face it.
I know, but I mean, like it's one of those things. I suppose like it seems like housekeeping.
Aye, 1, 2 tournaments, right? We'll go to Kilmarnock.
All right, well, fuck that. Fair enough. Right. So, Kilmarnock. I mean, you go from a game against St. Johnson where Hatate's taking chance after chance, putting it over the bar, hitting the post, and then suddenly turns up, pings in a worldie, turns up in the box, scores a goal, and then you've got Cameron Carter-Vickers just fucking again coming up with another worldie, and a record breaking amount of passes, and is it just in the league or is it further than that?
No, it's in world football ever. I'm sure it beat Barcelona's previous record.
You know what? I think I read. I think I did see something like that.
It's like fucking another record. But there's a ton of things to talk about here when you actually think about it. And you obviously never mentioned Anthony Ralston's.
I know.
Well.
His Maradona impression.
But it's interesting, right? Because what I've been getting pissed off, and you were one of the ones that pissed me off as well. What I've been
that's not like me.
Aye, but what I mean, the Rio Hatate bashing of late has been fucking wild. I mean, you listen to any pundit that's played the game, and every one of them, to a man, says he's one of the best players in the league without a doubt. And whilst you've got a load of Celtic fans would grudgingly agree, the majority, I think, were getting fed up with him and saying we need to ship him on, we need to move him on. What a talent the guy is. And a guy who doesn't do it week in, week out. But if he was performing at that level week in, week out, he wouldn't be playing with us. You know, I just think what a player he is. And I get that he doesn't do it all the time, and I get that it can be frustrating, but you just got to enjoy him while he's here. And I certainly wouldn't be wanting to move him on the whole season.
I will happily eat my hat on the shite I talked about him, in fairness. Like,
who did you compare him with? The boy with Birmingham City?
Iwata.
To be fair to him, he's had a great season. He's maybe been their player of the season and they've won the league. You know, but it's like the third tier in English football.
It's apples and oranges.
Aye. But and another thing. We're obviously in talking about the game now anyway, but I thought the Celtic were magnificent. But I'll tell you another special shout out, Liam Scales. I thought Liam Scales was really, really good. And I don't know about yourself, well, we've got to Greg Taylor and all, but I don't know about yourself, but is he kind of got that shirt back for Trusty, do you reckon?
I did feel that early in the game, to be honest with you. I kind of looked at him and went, like, he looks a lot more steady. I mean, he kind of... I don't know what it was, right? Obviously, he played. Everybody played really well, right? So that's a bonus, right? But Scales just looked like he knew what his job was. He knew how to do it, and he seemed very efficient at doing it. Whereas I think, in comparison to him and Trusty, sometimes Trusty you go like, "Oh, I don't know if you're entirely switched on here." I mean, whereas I think with Scales is good, always fucking switched on. I mean. Now, is he prone to mistake? Is he prone to fucking things up? Absolutely. But again, everybody in football is. I mean, I'm not saying time to time you will.
I mean, I'm not saying Liam Scales is the best player in the world, but it's like, I think Trusty's been pretty shaky, and I think Liam Scales, he came in, and I thought he was brilliant. You know, and obviously you're playing Kilmarnock at home, right? It's a game that you would definitely expect to win. And Kilmarnock have been kind of dog shit for most of this season. But regardless, I thought he played really, really well. And it was a right good bounce back, because it was one of the ones, you've lost to St Johnstone. We haven't been playing great of late, but it was just really good to see that first half performance. I was actually surprised, because I did think it would have been a cricket score. See, when we got the fourth, You're kind of saying, like, here we go. Here, this is going to be. You know, it's how many we're scoring here.
Aye.
Because what was it, 20, 25 minutes or whatever, we were 4-0 up.
Aye.
And
it was intense.
Aye. And you're just like, unbelievable. And obviously they get the goal back, which was a wee kind of obviously a bit of a blip. But then I actually thought when Kuhn and Jota come on, I thought, like, they'll have a point to prove now. Because obviously they've been benched, and as you would be yourself, you'd be unhappy, you'd want to go and you'd want to prove a point. But the second half was a wee bit, don't know about a non-event, but obviously it was great at the end for Ralston to get the goal. But I just thought overall a performance, and I thought Greg Taylor was excellent as well.
I see. Part of me kind of felt like a bit like watching it going like, well, the band's back together now. Everything looks fine.
Sorry, mate, carry on.
I just thought, like, great. This seems unfair, right? But I watched Greg Taylor and they're going like, yeah, he's not big physical like Sloop, right? But again, Greg Taylor wouldn't have let Raskin win a header at the edge of our box. I mean, in that game because Greg Taylor's a busy fucking motherfucker. Like his entire game is like just fucking run himself out of the ground and see those overlaps and those he runs in. He's great for them. Like, and yeah, I kind of felt like it seemed very comfortable to watch. It seemed like everything was clicking. And I don't know if that's an indictment on how the team played overall or the players that were in there who had been who hadn't played for a while. I couldn't really figure it out. What did you think of the game? Like, I mean, was everybody kind of sort of stunned, or was it like, let's enjoy this and let's have a good fucking time?
Well, it was it was a cracking day. It was a scorcher. I had a couple of mates from Liverpool up, and then I'd ended up sorting about bloody 9 Athletic Club fans out before the game for tickets. And the amount of Basques that had stayed over, obviously they were at Ibrox in the midweek, and there was tons of them in the stadium, athletic gear everywhere. It was really good. But, and my mate's son and his 2 pals were there, so I got them sorted and then met them after the game, took them into town and that. So it was good. They were for Guernica, my big mate Shabby. So his son and his 2 pals, and they absolutely loved it. And what they were saying to me after the game, they're like, we were really surprised at how good Celtic were. And they says, I know like La Liga's a higher standard of the opposition, but they says the passing for Celtic, and obviously then it comes out as a world record. But they were like, it was so good to watch. It says it was, and Jane and Steve, obviously, they fully Everton everywhere. They were like, what a game. They were like, that was an absolute pleasure to be at that. And it was a right good atmosphere. The both ultra groups were in fine voice, and the stadium was a brilliant atmosphere, and it just kind of capped off, and it was just a joyous occasion. It was obviously a bit of a sickener that we could have clinched the league, because what we know in the week before that would have been the perfect day, but that's coming, and I just thought it was an absolute masterclass for Celtic. And you can decry the opposition all you want, but it was absolutely brilliant. Just thoroughly enjoyed it. You there? Can anybody in the chat still hear me? I think they probably can, because it's still saying live, but Joe's dropped off. Can someone in the chat stick anything on if you can hear me talking? I'll try and waffle the shite until he joins back. Yes, we can. There we go. Right, how do I deal with this shite? I don't really know what to do. So I thought the game was really good. I thought Greg Taylor was excellent, and obviously when Joe comes back on, we'll have a discussion about it, because I'll admit I've been a big fan of Greg Taylor, and I think it was a victim of circumstance because he was replacing Kieran Tierney. And ironically, it'll be Kieran Tierney, they'll be replacing him as first choice left back. But I think he's been excellent for Celtic, and maybe he's been caught a bit short when we're playing top class teams in Europe, etc. But I think Greg Taylor's been an amazing servant, and there is rumours now that Rodgers is very keen for him to stay, and I don't know if there's any truth in it, but they're seemingly renegotiating a new 3-year deal. And what I was going to say previous, I was a bit guilty that when Schlupp came in, I thought that he might be an upgrade on Greg Taylor, and it wouldn't be the kind of worst thing if Taylor left and we got Schlupp. But I've kind of done a 180 on that, and I really hope Greg Taylor signs a new deal, and he will be second fiddle to Kieran Tierney, but who's to say Kieran or maybe doesn't play left centre back sometimes, and it just gives you that options. But you need 2 good players for every position, and I just really hope Greg Taylor signs a new deal. I think it'd be a far safer bet than Schlupp, because we've only seen a small sample size, and he has looked really good on occasion, especially in the Champions League. I thought it was pretty good, but me personally, I would have Greg Taylor. I really hope. In my head, I think Celtic's been lowballing him. I've been saying this quite a few times on here. Whether that's the case or not, I'm not entirely sure. But I think Celtic, because he's a Scottish player, we signed him for Kilmarnock, he wouldn't have been on big money, and I think they've probably been trying to lowball him. And I know a lot of people are saying he's wanting to move because he wants to be guaranteed first team football and stuff like that. Now, maybe that is the case, but I just think when you're at his age, I think it's all down to money. And I think he would want to secure his family's future. And if Celtic give him the right deal, I'm pretty sure he would sign it, regardless of whether Kieran Tierney's coming in. Because at the end of the day, he's got to believe in his own ability and he's got to fight for the place. So to me, I think as long as Celtic can match his valuation or there or thereabouts, I think he would sign the contract. But obviously, we don't know whether that's the case or not. But that's my opinion on it. And I just think when people get to that age, this will be his last big contract. And he'll have to weigh up as well, because if he leaves Celtic, it's where he goes. And obviously there'll be a signing on fee, which I take it goes into his pocket. So that could maybe play a part in it. But that means him uprooting his family. Obviously a new baby just arrived, and congratulations to the Taylor family. And I just think if Celtic give him what he's looking for or there or thereabouts, I think he would sign with us. So obviously let's watch this space and see what happens. But I'm pretty sure he'll start on Sunday at Hampden against St Johnstone, because he was excellent. And he looked really, really fired up. And there's Joe back. And Joe and Mr. Fantastico's back. So it's double trouble here.
Sorry, better.
I've just been waffling shite for about the past 5 minutes.
Well, no better, man. Let's be very honest here.
So basically, I was in a debate about Greg Taylor all on my own there. So I'll bring you guys in. So I'll kind of paraphrase what I've said before. And we've not really, we briefly touched the game, Marty. We'll get back onto the game, talking about the rest of it. But while I was on the Greg Taylor stuff, my opinion, I thought he was excellent at the weekend, and there is rumours that Celtic's back to the negotiating table with him, and Rodgers is obviously very keen for him to stay. As I said, I think Greg Taylor, for a lot of Celtic fans, was a victim of circumstance that he replaced Kieran Tierney, who was out of this world for us, and he obviously wasn't at that level, but I think he's been a great player for us. He's been very solid, very dependable. He's very rarely injured, and I think he's just been a great servant to Celtic. And my opinion on the full thing is, I think if Celtic match his valuation, then he would sign. I don't think it's a case of because he's going to be second fiddle left back, and he'll obviously fight for his position. At the end of the day, the jersey's there to be won. No doubt Kieran Tierney would have it if he's fit. But at the end of the day, Greg Taylor will fight for it. But I think if there's offers on the table from other clubs, there'll be a signing on fee there. But I just think it's basically, when you get to his age, it's down to money. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's desperate. I mean, obviously he wants first team football, right? But if he's got the chance with a new baby that's here to not uproot his family and get like a bumper 3-4 year deal with Celtic, then I'm pretty sure he would sign it. What do you guys think? Do you think?
The other thing is that looking at Kieran Tierney's injury record, he'll be in at some fucking stage in the season, so he might not be on the bench as much as maybe he may think he was, or other people may think he was. So if I was him, as you say, he has to fight his own way into the team, which is fair enough. But as I say, it's by the fucking by, really. It's up to him if he, as you say, if he wants to move and get a big fucking sign on fee somewhere, but uproot the family at the same time. It'd be interesting. Harper's saying that there's rumour going around the night that he's already signed a deal, but it will be interesting to see the length of that deal. Because left backs, your fucking self are difficult it is to get.
It's definitely a specialist position.
Fuck, 100%.
I think seeing any sport, right? Well, in team sport, if you're left-footed, left-handed, if you're a left-handed pitcher and stuff like that in baseball, you're worth a lot more money than a right-handed one.
That's it, exactly. The same as like a left tackle in American football. Do you know what I mean? That protects the blind side. They're the most. They're worth a fortune. But the point about Taylor is, like, he has his critics. Do you know what I mean? He's a very good player, but he wouldn't be the best defender. Whereas, with Kieran Tierney, you're getting a good defender as well as someone who can get forward. So, Tierney's a cut above Taylor, but still, you'd want a player like Taylor around. It's like, look at Tony Ralston. Tony Ralston's exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? Just happy to come in and does a good job anytime he does. You know what I mean? He doesn't really.
I've said for long and weary, he's worth his weight in gold to Celtic because
he's another
he doesn't
bum
rock the apple cart. He's not.
No.
He's not going to be on a fortune. He's happy where he is, and by God, he steps in and gives it a fucking 100% every time he's called on. And Scotland international as well.
And Greg Taylor's the same. Like, nobody could fault Greg Taylor for effort. You can fault his decision making sometimes. You can fault his, as I say, his defending sometimes. He gives the ball away, but too much for my liking. But playing that weird role suits him down to the ground. He play. I think when he was young, he was a midfielder, so he's happy coming inside. And he has been devastating at times. In terms of his forward play. So look, again, and he's another Scottish player for what it's worth in Europe and all that sort of thing. But it's. If I was him, I would stay. Do you know what I mean? But again, we're not party to the the goings on in the background or transfer talks or fucking big golden handshakes that he could be getting somewhere else. So, but there'll 100% be a fucking market for him, like without a doubt. Like, left backs are so difficult. We've most of our fucking lives Celtic haven't had decent left backs. Do you know what I mean? So if you have two in the building, fuck me, you definitely. And the other thing is too, like, he's not going to be on a massive amount of money now, so it wouldn't be hard to put him on a better wage without really murdering the wage bill. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be moving up on the £40,000 a week, but he could be moving up on the 15,000, 16,000 from 8. You'll be doubling his wages. And if he thinks he can get more than that somewhere else he wants to go, then fucking fair enough. But at least an offer should be made to him. And as I say, if he has agreed a deal, it'll be interesting to see the length.
It's actually, there's a thread on the huddle board now about it saying he signed a new 3-year deal.
Harper's saying in our group chat.
See when you're someone like him and you have kids now, like, it's down to like it's good fellas tactics. Fuck you, pay me. I mean, that's it, really.
I know football's a cruel mess. Just like, you know what I mean?
Fuck you, pay me.
You cannot blame any player for looking after themselves, because the clubs will look after their clubs and fuck the players. Do you know what I mean? So nowadays, I mean, I really can't fault players at all if they make moves and stuff. And some players, are just going to leave Celtic because they're destined to go to clubs that can pay more money for them. And like, those sort of things used to murder you years ago, but now you're just going, it's just part of the game. I mean, it's just thank you for your service.
Van Dijk this week, $400,000 a week.
That's insane. But again, he got a short deal. Do you know what I mean? So while he's got a mega book deal, it's not like a fucking 10-year deal. It's not a baseball deal. It's 2 years.
It's still fucking $400,000
a week.
I would work 1 week every fucking hour. In God's sense, no fucking sleep for $400,000. 7 days a week, 24 hours. I would do whatever they want me to do.
No doubt about it. And the thing is if he's still playing at the fucking same level he's playing at in 2 years' time, they'll give him another $400,000 a week deal without a doubt.
I'll be honest with you, I think he's fucking suspect now. I don't think he's half the player he used to be.
Well, you would watch more Premiership football than me, but what age is he? He must be around age. He's well into his 30s, isn't he?
I'd say the early 30s. I'm not entirely sure, mate.
Yeah. So it's like an insurance policy deal almost, and you're keeping a really good defender.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And they're going to win the league. He's going to win the league this year.
He's getting Saudi wages, like. That's Saudi wages.
The only thing, pay $200,000 tax here, don't you?
Aye. Well, that's one of the arguments. That's why they're paying.
He's Dutch, maybe it doesn't work out by here.
But see, get on to the Schlupp thing. I think we all get carried away. I certainly did anyway when he came in, right? And you're saying, "Oh, this guy's outstanding." He's Swiss Army knife, can play any position. He's fit as a fiddle. But as the games have been going on, he's kind of been getting steadily worse. And you're like, oh, maybe he's not that good. And it's one of these kind of, you don't really know what you're getting from him because he's only been here for a short window. And it's like, Greg Taylor is 100% dependable. You know exactly what you're getting for him. And he's very rarely injured. And he's Scottish as well, obviously, with the UEFA kind of thing. So it is definitely a no-brainer because Schlupp although he's out of contract with Palace at the end of the year, right? I would kind of think he would be looking for, without a doubt, equal to what Greg Taylor's looking for, but possibly more. And it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? This could be one of the ones that just went totally sour. So I think if he signed this new 3-year deal, I think that's absolutely brilliant news for Celtic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be upset by that. Like,
well, you've got loads of Celtic fans don't rate him. You know, you can hear them all the time. But
people are fucking idiots, though, aren't they?
Well, exactly.
Some of the criticism is valid. Like, fuck me, you've seen like some of the mistakes he's made now. So I'm not trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, he's not a fucking he's not Kieran Tierney.
Limitations in Champions League without a doubt, Marty. Do you know what I mean?
So like I'm not and like that's my point. Like lots of our squad are the same. I'm not really labouring the point either. But there's no doubt about it that Tierney is a cut above him. Like without fucking question.
I know, but like Jason says, I mean, like weaknesses and all, you know exactly what you're going to get when he's on the pitch. You know exactly what he's going to do.
If you have a player like him who's more comfortable for going forward than defending, then the onus was on the manager then to allow for that and that, fucking change it. Tactics or whatever.
There is a case when Tierney comes in. Tierney could play left midfield. Tierney could play left centre back.
Absolutely.
There's ways you can get the two of them in the team. If that's what's called for, and it just gives you a lot more options. So there is no negative if he signs in. Fingers crossed that's true, and he signed a New Zealand. It's happy days.
I was thinking of Tierney today in the car. Right, I was driving along, and there's a strong possibility he could arrive at Celtic as a Champions League winner.
Aye. Do you know what was interesting as well? Which I thought, because obviously you get the feeling Arteta doesn't like him, right? Or for whatever reason, he wasn't Arteta's player. And Arteta, and at the end of the day, he's signing for Celtic for a reason why he was out the picture for Arsenal. But he's been kind of back in the picture of late. And what I thought was interesting, when they won in the Bernabeu, Arteta sent him on for the last 30 seconds. I mean, I don't know how football contracts work, but I reckon that would be a more than hefty
for the win bonus, 100%.
At the end of that game, and you're like, fair play to Arteta. And see, when you read all these Arsenal forums, though, it's beautiful reading.
I do.
They are absolutely sick that he's leaving.
If you follow them on Twitter, like loads of the Gunners accounts are like, watch Tierney when he score and stuff, and they love his passion. They love him as a player, and they're kind of going like, I can't believe we're losing this cunt.
And they always give him a great reception when he comes on, because invariably he comes off the bench, and the roar that he gets and the cheers that he gets when he enters the field. So but I'm every time that bastard Arteta brings him on, I'm like, take him off, you fucking cunt. Fucking bastard. Yeah, I know what you're at. I know what you're doing, dickhead.
And here's the thing, by the way. Did I dream this? Or did Carlo Ancelotti speak about him at the end of their game at Highbury? See the first leg?
Don't know.
I don't know if they dug up an old article, but it couldn't have been, because what he said was, he says he's a great player, and he says I would love to have him at Real Madrid, but he's a Celtic player now. I'm sure he said that. And I'm like, wait a minute, here, fucking.
I was thinking, rip that contract up, let that boy go to Madrid.
But you're just like, it's so. The way the tarot cards have landed for Celtic with the Tierney situation, it's just unbelievable. If he didn't get that injury at the Euros, then he's no playing with us. Because there was a 4-year deal on the table for Real Sociedad.
But think about, I was sitting today going, like, think about if Arsenal win the Champions League, which is, again, is fucking pie in the sky thinking, right? And he gets to sign off. One, as a loved player, but also every single person who played in that campaign will be a legend in Arsenal history forever, right? And then he goes back home to Celtic. I mean, fuck me, talk about a great summer. You know what I mean?
Imagine he's up there as his pre-season training, and the bid comes in for Arsenal, 40 million.
But how fucking stupid were Arsenal letting this deal run down? I mean, that's a Van Dijk situation there. You'd be going back to Tierney this time last year saying, listen, here's the fucking news, dickhead. We need to protect you as an asset. There's an extra fucking million a year, whatever.
Well,
Sign that then.
he had an extra year. They didn't take the option.
I know it's
But
crazy.
I think it was at the
Crazy.
start of this. I think it was at the start of this year.
It was
Arsenal
alright.
had,
No, it wasn't. It was at the end of this year. It was supposed to be activated by January, and that's when
right, okay.
they
So it's a
they
January
put out
window.
they put out the statement saying, you know, the club has decided not to exercise its option, and I was going, what a bunch of fucking dickheads! The amount of money they spent on 'em. I mean, they could have exercised their option and sold them to somebody in the summer. What the fuck? Unless Tierney had said to them, I don't want to exercise it. No, I want home, which is you know, fair fucks to him. But like,
Well,
I'm laughing there, Jason. When you were fucking saying about Ancelotti, or sorry, not Ancelotti, about Arteta bringing him off the bench and him getting the big fucking win bonus. That's exactly what we were talking about at Christmas. Do you remember when all that was happening? We were saying everyone comes, go and get Tierney now. And you're like, hold on a minute. He gets a big fucking massive golden handshake at the end of his fucking. He gets like a loyalty bonus, you know, for not breaking his contract.
aye.
Plus, if he's fucking playing in the Champions League, whatever, he'll be getting fucking bonuses left, right, and centre.
Oh, can you imagine they won the Champions League? What kind of doors he going to even get?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Imagine swanning off on your fucking holidays, going like, that's that one done. Champions League in the bag.
You can play at Celtic for free. For fuck's sake.
I mean, here's the thing, right? See, kind of trying to climb into his head, right? I mean, I know the kid, right? But obviously I don't know what he's thinking. But I do know he's been desperate to get back to Celtic. And obviously it's to do with him no play. Well, there's a couple of things. I think he didn't want to leave in the first place, but it was the right thing to do between Celtic weren't rid of him and get the money, and then him going to further his career. So he's went and done it. He won the League Cup or something. I don't know if he's won the FA Cup with Arsenal. Was it there? He won a cup anyway when he first went there. Then he get the chance to go and play in the Basque Country where Real Sociedad played in all the most amazing stadiums ever. Played in the Basque Derby in San Mamés. I was at the game. And we'll get to San Mamés later, I suppose. We're going to be covering it a wee bit later on. There was something happened last night there. But so he's experienced, you know, he's done it. You know, he's went and done it. And he's now coming back to us at the prime of his footballing career. And God willing, injury-free, because he's been playing now for a wild number of months. And, you know...
Well, here's the thing, Jason, too. It takes a fucking smart manager as well to manage a person like Kieran Tierney. It's like Paul McGrath. Like, don't overtrain him. Let his football on the pitch be his training and just keep him taking over during the week. You know, if he has an injury record, then why the fuck would you know what I mean? And that's what I'm hoping that Rodgers will do with him. You know, we'll set him down and say, right, let's see what works here for you, Kieran, and maximise the amount of time you have left in football, because he's not that old. Do you know what I mean? So you're saying we don't want you out of the game of 31 here. You know, let's manage your training and all that, so we're not fucking killing you. Do you know what I mean? It's just common sense. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. But see, from a Celtic point of view, you're kind of pinching yourself, really, aren't you? We got 25. We got 25 million for him. He's coming back now as a better player than he was, albeit there is injury concerns, and he's had a load of injuries, and he's been hampered with them, you know, for a lot of his career. But the thing is, we're getting what a player we're getting
and he's here, and he's playing behind Jota, Jason.
Aye,
like that's fucking mouthwatering prospect. Do you know what I mean? Tierney bombing up the lane and feeding Jota.
That's an overlap that makes you want to lick your lips and go, hold on.
Okay, hell, like if it works out, it's just fabuloso, fantastico.
And nice that you mentioned Jota, because I think that's quite a good wee segue as well. I'm hearing rumblings, folk, they're no happy, like he's no done great, and I'm kind of noting that. I don't know if you have heard that there's people going like that. Aye, and I just think it's the case of, and I think he has been good. I think I think he's always been trying, and he's always, you know, he's definitely not at the level he was when he left us. He started like a bomb when he came on against Motherwell and all that, and he's had some brilliant moments and good goals and stuff. But I think next season we'll see him, when he's
Yep.
got a pre-season under his
Yep.
belt, and because he's been basically languishing out in Saudi Arabia, not even kicking a ball.
Rogers warned us when he came in. Rogers
Aye.
told us.
Yeah.
He says, you will not see each other yet. He says, well, I need to fucking work with this guy. And our fans do my fucking nut, and I swear to fuck. Like,
Aye, off.
like they do. And I don't like to be disparaging about anybody, but like when we lost one of them matches the other week, some of the fucking shit I was listening to was unbelievable. I don't really entertain it now, but even people who you thought should know better were just talking fucking balls, wanting Rogers sacked and all that stuff.
It's where we live in now, Mario. It's where we live in.
Like, just, it's, you know what I think it is too, Joe? I think people like to be, like, I sat on here last week, and I ripped the fucking balls out of Hatate, even out on Saturday, and was awesome. Right? So, and I have no fucking qualms whatsoever saying, very happy he eat humble pie, did a great job, hope he keeps it up, all that shit. I think some people just want to be right. So
Yep.
they wait until they think they're right. No,
Aye.
I told you all last year, that's shit. No, you know what I mean? And like, we come on here every Friday
They're
night. and call our-
hungry. They're hungry for a valid disappointment.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
We come on here every
Aye.
Friday night and give our opinions. So our opinions could actually be searched up again, like from fucking 6 months ago and stuff. So it's like they're waiting on something to go wrong to say, I fucking knew he was a cunt or whatever the
Well,
fuck.
it's vindication of their
That's
own fucking
mad as fuck. Like,
internal bullshit.
yeah, and like here, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't be guilty of it or whatever. I probably have been, where I've said there's players like I just fucking don't take to, and I'd be like, he's not right for us. I've nothing personal against them. I just don't think they're good player for our team. But I say it out loud, and when they do, like Hatate was the fucking same. When Hatate was bad, I said he was bad. Now Hatate has hit the button, and I'm delighted. It's not about me wanting to
It's
go.
not about you being vindicated. You're wanting to
No,
prove it
it's,
wrong.
I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm fucking
Like,
happy. Well,
you're not raging that Rio Atari is now proved wrong.
no, I'm fucking delighted. I'm going, that's great or whatever. Or not even that he's proved me wrong. Or not even that I was wrong. It's like that it's not the same situation that I was talking about 6 months ago or whatever. But cunts just can't wait to go, fucking you out there. He's a cunt. He's sort of
Do you know what?
get him
I
out the
think
fuck.
I think it would be an Irish or a Celtic thing because it's like the other week, right? We had a smashing day. It was smashing weather last week here, Marty. I don't know if you got it too. We got a smashing
What?
day down here last week.
We're not
right?
that far away, Joe, for fuck's sake. We're 40
I
minutes up
know.
the road.
Smashing day. Right? I said to somebody who was getting out of the car, I said, fucking great day, isn't it? Boy goes, it's meant to turn soon. I was like, oh, you fucking prick.
A draining humanity. Do you know what I mean?
fucking happiness, Hoover.
As I call my wife, the crack vacuum.
But
The fucking joy.
the thing is, I'm probably no guilty. I'm the kind of opposite of that, Barry, because you know me. Anybody that pulls on that green and white shirt, I can see some goodness in it. And I'm always going, there's a player there.
Fritzl, if Fritzl joined Celtic, you'd be going, tell you what, see if you ever need a basement. If you ever need a basement, he's your man.
Big lad can play deep. He plays deep.
Oh, God. You know,
don't let any of the women's team. That's the only fucking thing.
The amount of players that I've backed, and you're just like,
yeah, put it this way: nobody in any podcast has advocated for Raphael Shea better than you have.
You back them to a fault, but that's what fans are supposed to do. Like we all see when we were kids, we were the fucking same. Like I remember backing Anton Rogan and Peter Grant to the fucking death when I was young. I mean, I hadn't had a fucking bad word said about. You know what I mean? And that's what being a fan's about.
I had high hopes and a real fucking affinity with Olivier Tebele. At one point, you know what I mean? Going, this guy looks like a physical specimen. It's going to be brilliant. And,
well, sure, I said Bio was a player, and yeah, but it's working out for him now. He's doing really well. God bless him. You know, you can see. I definitely think at Celtic, a club like ours, there's definitely a mentality issue with some players. Like some players join us, and really do have imposter syndrome. They know that the club's too big for them. And Neil Lennon was talking about it recently with Pookie, and he said the same fucking thing. He says, "This guy, I basically staked my fucking management career on this guy, batted for him, thought he was great, but he hadn't the mentality." He says he spoke to him a couple of years afterwards, and Pookie said it himself. He says, just couldn't fucking handle it. And I think I've mentioned it on here before, but I was talking to somebody years ago who knew Magnus Hedman, and we all
Yeah.
know what fucking happened to him. Like, he waited till the real big show to fucking make a cunt out of himself. Do you know what I mean? But
Mm.
he had come from Coventry, I think it was, like a real small club, a provincial club that was like, you know, every pound was a prisoner and that sort of thing. And do you know what freaked him out? His kit, his fucking kit freaked him out, because when he came to Celtic, he was given like 7 pairs of fucking track bottoms, 7 jerseys, 7 keeper jerseys, 7 fucking uh pairs of gloves, 10 pairs of boots, and it actually freaked him out. He was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he just did not have the mentality. You know, he's like, "Why am I here? I'm not a good enough keeper to be here." That sort of fucking thing gets into your head. So see, when a player like Greg Taylor comes along and goes, "Fuck us, this is just," just embrace it and go for it, and or Johnny Kenny. So we were talking about Johnny Kenny there about 6 months ago, but when Johnny Kenny was given the fucking chance, he just went for it at that match. Maybe what was it? Maybe 8 weeks ago,
Ross County.
and he hasn't been fucking team since. But he didn't do himself any damage at all.
Uh,
You know,
it's that kind of old adage. So, like, I mean, like, there's lads that could just go out and play the game. There's no
well, this is it.
occasion. There's nothing else.
But
You're just like constant. Like, I mean, that's one thing that's difficult to teach kids. You go, like, when you go on that pitch, turn your fucking brain on. Like, I keep telling the kids, going, like, football is a simple game for smart people. These are all smart lads, right?
that's it.
But just turn your fucking brains on. Look up,
And
connect with
that
each other,
and
communicate, and that's it.
that's where it comes back to fucking Jota, right? Which is how we got to this fucking rambling bollocks in the first place. Jota is a fucking star. We're lucky to fucking have him, and a series of extraordinary events has brought him back. And Rogers warned us, "You're not going to see Jota." And Jason just said it there. And when he first came back, all that adrenaline was pumping, and he fucking scored a goal, and it was amazing. And there's a price to be paid for that. He had no preseason. He went. He switched clubs. Like, he just had the most terrible fucking time over the last 18 months. So we've kind of. I think Rogers has been good to him. He's given game time. Do you know what I mean? And he maybe shouldn't have. Really, he maybe should have fucking spurred
Well,
him a bit.
that's something that kind of surprised me as well, to be honest with you, when he came back, that he was thrown right in. But then I was kind of
I
going, like,
think.
you know
I
what?
think it was.
There is that fairy tale vibe that Rodgers fucking believes
Well,
and loves. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
it was. I think it was his early performances that kept him in. He fucking came. He came back barnstorming. Do you know
No.
what I mean? But if you haven't
Definitely.
got, if your core fitness is there and stuff like that, there's a price to be paid for it. You fucking
Aye.
knacker yourself. You know, and he's coming back, settling in again, getting somewhere to live. All that balance is going on in the fella's personal life. So, do you know what I mean? He just needs time. See, with a full fucking preseason and a good rest over the summer, man, fucking dear, we have hit the fucking jackpot with some of the players that we've brought in.
Yeah.
Aye.
He still looks fantastic though. You want to see him signing
Oh.
autographs, say Celtic Park. I want to see the gear he was wearing. I was like, that's what a £25 million fucking guy bank. That's a kind of gear he wore. I mean, looking that gorgeous. I was like, fucking good on you, son.
What about,
Good on you.
we spoke about before you come on, Matt, about Liam Scales. Do you reckon he's won the jersey back? Done himself
I
no
mean,
harm at the weekend.
we spoke about it last week too. By the way, I meant to fucking say how good of a guest was Brian McColligan last week.
It was great.
Right.
I forgot the boy's name, right? Because I listened to the podcast when I was out walking the dog last, I think it was Saturday or Sunday morning. After the 3 quarters, I've still got a wee bit to go, but he's excellent. His insight into football is absolutely brilliant. Really good. Now, it's even somebody that's played the game at a decent level and whatever.
Totally.
And
Just
it's a total
brings a
different,
whole.
a different context to the conversation than us just rambling shite. You know what I mean?
I know, but we can't keep raising the fucking bar that quick every week. You know what I mean? We've been at the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're back to fucking normal now.
Folk, can't be giving folk expectations.
No, really, really good. You could listen to the guy all night. He's kind of views on Fitbit and like it brings points up that I wouldn't think of, you know. And it's just obviously if you've played the game, you've got a different total outlook than somebody that's just a daft fan. And aye, really good, great guest.
Well, there you go, confirmed. Greg Taylor, 3-year deal.
Brilliant, happy days, man. See another thing about Greg Taylor. He seems like a right buzz in the dressing room as well. He seems one of the main men. Now when Celtic do their Christmas videos and that, which are always absolutely brilliant, he's always like one of the starring roles in it. He just seems a right likeable guy, you know, and it comes across that way that he would be one of the main voices in the dressing room, and it seems as if he's a bit of wacky funster in a good way.
I was watching the game in the house, right, and it was one of them ones going like, "Is Greg Taylor holding a baby?" I mean, I was like, "Hold on, am I? Do you hold a baby?" And I was like, "Oh," and it clicked in my head. I was like, "Oh, fuck, he just had a child." I was like, "Ah, right," and then I was like, "Ah, that's brilliant." Then even doubt you playing a fucking Barnstormer, got man of the match, and you're going like, you know what? I've loved Greg Taylor from the start. Everybody knows this. This is documented on this podcast that I've had nothing but fucking affinity for Greg Taylor because of the fact that he will just go out there and put on his resting bitch face and play 110%. He just bust his fucking bollocks.
Yeah.
And is he the most technically gifted player in the world? Absolutely not. But you know what he's going to do, and you know that he's going to do it at the fucking most maximum that he possibly can. And I can never fault that in any football player. And he's so effective as well, attacking ways. Is he a great defender? People say he's not a great defender. Marty, you said he's not a great defender. Like, I think he's a competent defender. And
no, I mean, as I say
no,
earlier on,
in particular situations,
we've all seen his faults. So for example, the cup final against the Huns, constantly trying to play inside when the Huns were constantly trying to catch him out. Like, brains would dictate they just stop fucking doing it, and that was their sole tactic in that match. You know what I mean? And then they tried it again at Abraham or at Christmas time, and it worked. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's that kind of intelligence to know it's not working, try something different. And maybe it's a self confidence thing with him about his own ability. He thinks maybe he can't do that. I don't know. You know, and there's plenty of other games where you can point to good work from him and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not intending to dump the baby out with the bathwater on him either. Do you know what I mean? But going back to Jota, it's we all know that the player that Jota is because we've all fucking seen him. Sometimes when players come back to a club, it doesn't work out. Loads of times. Do you know what I mean? It's like the difficult fucking second album. But in Jada's case, I have no doubts whatsoever. You know, that he's going to be back to the player that we all fucking know and love. There's not a fucking doubt about it. But he needs time just to chill the fuck out. And as I say, Brendan Rodgers was very, very straight about it at Christmas Day. And said that, or not Christmas Day, and after the January window, saying that the real Jada's going to take a bit of a way to come. The good thing was that Brendan Rodgers was actually saying he was one of the players that I really wanted to work with when I come back here. So that shows that he has an appreciation for what Jota can do in his teams. Because you know yourself, there's players who play for managers, and the manager just goes, "He's not fit for my fucking team." You know what I mean? But that's not the case with Jota.
Yeah.
Rodgers going, "I want him back, and I feel I can accommodate him in my team." You know, so. Do you know what I mean? And he did play slightly differently under Ange as well. Do you know what I mean? When he was here, like he's not playing that straight winger role, or I suppose it's almost like the old outside left role. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't really that he was playing. He was allowed to drift in, and maybe that will happen. You know, maybe that'll come. You know, when his fitness is up and whatever else. But his decision making hasn't fucking changed. He's a cracking player.
And I think as well, see when you've got a good centre, like Maeda's done an amazing job, but you would think we would sign a centre forward. Adam Eder, if I don't want to get into the kind of slagging matches, he's proved
there's a lot of that going on online.
There's a lot of it as well, but he's proved he's scoring. He can score in the big occasions. And by the way, seeing Saturday, he started the game right. He didn't get a goal, but I thought his work rate was excellent, and he made see like the space we were getting. He was causing a lot of that, you know, by his runs, etc. So I mean, it was a team effort.
But people don't appreciate that, Jason, because that's the same thing. Remember years ago with Joe Ledley, I used to say to folk, remember when Joe Ledley first played for us? Like I was kind of like, he didn't really start fucking setting things on fire. I mean, not that he was meant to. He was a midfielder, but I got frustrated with watching him on TV. Right, I'm like, what's he do? And then I went to see the game, and he was like, oh, he does an awful lot more than I thought he was doing. Right, an awful lot more. Right, and he does the same. Right?
Aye, and his work rate's tremendous, and I think he just needs a bit of confidence, and I've got no doubt. I think he'll come good for us. And this price tag, I don't care about the price tag. The money didn't come out of my pocket. See, at the end of the day, that's what Norwich were asking for. We knew he had a proven track record with us. He was pivotal in us winning the league last season and winning the Scottish Cup, and we paid the money for him. End of story. I don't care about the transfer fee. He wears a green white shirt now, but he's got a bit of work to do, right? He's got a bit of work to do. He's still to win over some of the fans, etc. But as you say, Marty, it's a hard bunch to win everybody over, and he's got his doubters there. But at the end of the day, he's big and ugly enough to be able to deal with it. So, but I do think we need a centre forward. But what I would like to say again, he comes on against St Johnstone and kind of changes the game. We don't have many chances, and then James Forrest is back in the team, and I thought he was outstanding on Saturday again. And
I believe James Forrest will play a big part at the end of the season.
There's another one. Like, look at
unbelievable servant to Celtic.
Look at the fucking threads on the HomeBhoys.
Still not got a fucking song. Still not got a fucking song.
Folks say he's not a Celtic legend.
Absolutely fucking crazy.
You just say, what planet are these folk on?
Build a statue for him out of Lego.
I compared him to. I don't know whether you saw it, but I stuck up.
Charlie Tully.
It was kind of just being fucking cheeky, right? But I compared him to Charlie Tully, who by any stretch of the imagination is a fucking cast iron, fucking sterling silver, solid bronze, fucking molten gold Celtic legend, right?
And totally, because all the old guys I grew up with and going to the games, Charlie Tully was the hero, and they would
exactly
lament about him constantly, right?
And I'm sure most people who listen to this know my connections to the Tully family. Like the Tully family are my friends. Like I was talking to Charlie Jr. yesterday. Like I am so close to them, and I love them, and I love Charlie. I love the memory of Charlie. I do everything I can to promote his memory and keep his name on the tongue of our fans as we all get older. But like when you stack them up beside each other, you're going, if you were only just if I had to put up two players' names and didn't, two random players, like player A, player B, and didn't put their fucking names in, and you were comparing their goals and their appearances and their international caps and all that sort of thing, like fucking hell, you'd have been hard pushed to pick a better player out of the two of them. Do you know what I mean? And somebody come on and went, I actually stopped reading the thread. I only done it in badness. But somebody come on and says, fuck me, we're comparing fucking James Tully or James Forrest to Charlie Tully. Now, how far have I fallen? Some shit like that. And I was like, oh, this, I remember this. I couldn't even be fucking bothered arguing with fucking people now. Do you know what I mean? He's been a brilliant servant for us. He stuck around the whole time. He has... People were saying, when did he score a big goal? He's a fucking winger. It's not his job to score fucking goals.
Way, he scored so many big goals for us.
But even so,
massively important goals.
What the fuck? Just wanted to score a fucking Champions League final.
When I think of James Forrest, I think of was it Caracciante?
No, was it not Dynamo Moscow?
It was they qualify for the Champions League.
But was it Caracciante?
No,
I am fucking.
The one I always think of was him and Samaras, and I'm sure it was in Moscow. I'm sure we were playing a Moscow fucking team because I was drinking.
Oh, when Samaras scored the. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? Here's James Forrest.
We won away. It was one of our only champions.
James Forrest scored the first goal in Rome against Lazio. Oh, the second goal. Sorry, he scored the equaliser. Remember?
And against Lazio.
Aye, our first goal. Yes, he did. Him and Cham scored.
That's right.
Cham scored the winner.
That's a big goal.
Exactly. Like you're going, what the fuck are you talking about? This guy's a winger. His job is to fucking create goals for people, and he's weighed in with fucking dozens of them. over the course of whatever the fuck time he's been here.
Again, another player when you know exactly what you're going to get. Exactly what you're going to get.
But it just keeps defying everybody because you think that's him done doing, and it was back in, you're like, he's got so much still to offer us. You know, and if you
I always felt sorry for him over the years because how daft everybody made him seem. I mean, like Scott Brown and all them, all the fucking he always came across like they made him seem quite daft in videos, like, but you can't be that fucking daft. I mean, just a guy with that mentality to get through all that doubt, all that fucking bullshit, and still deliver over and over and over again.
Just he's outstanding, a living legend, 100%. Him and Callum McGregor. I mean, the two of them they'll end their Celtic career as probably number 1 and 2 of the most decorated Celtic players of all time.
Aye, and that's something probably we don't ever consider enough, is it? Like, because how many fucking football clubs get to do that? Like, how many football clubs have guys like that have just gone, nah, this is it. I'm here. I'm staying here. How many?
It's incredible. The two of them have been two of the mainstays of Celtic's most successful period ever in our history.
And James Forrest was about to leave at the end of or before Rodgers joined, and Rodgers talked him into staying. And he made a brilliant contribution to Rodgers' first time round. You know, and he's been unlucky with injuries here this last wee while, but what a useful fucking player to have back in full fitness.
But here's the thing. I'm almost certain that everybody at some point has written him off. And I consider myself in that one too. Has said, nah, he's done. There was a point where he was just a forgotten man for nearly everybody.
I would agree with you, Joe. And obviously, I'd have been in the same boat. But you're actually talking about this writing him off has been like for about the past 7 or 8 years, every season.
Mm.
You know, maybe there was one, maybe about 6 years ago or whatever. It was unbelievable. It was quality. So it might have been it was brilliant then, but there's every year you're just saying to yourself, maybe his time's gone, you know, his legs are gone and stuff like that, and he just dumbfounds us and just comes back. And I thought it was magnificent at the weekend, and what an option he is. And even if he's on the bench, because this is the thing, if you've got we'll get to Kuhn if you want, I don't know. He's kind of fell off a cliff, but you don't know whether it's the Alistair Johnson's maybe not been great in the second half of the season. He's not making the overlapping runs and couldn't, because that was giving Kuhn the space to come inside and whatever. I don't know, but at the end of the day, you're talking about say Kuhn and Jota are your starting wingers. But then if you've got James Forrest to come in there, that's you getting a bench then, that you're getting 5 players that you're bringing in that are adding something to the team. Whereas there's been occasions in this season, I think we'll all agree, that we've been looking at the bench and it's not been great. You know, things aren't working. And I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill SPL games that were kind of out of sight, you know, but it's when things are tough and you need... You're looking at the Champions League games, you know, and I think Bayern Munich only used 2 subs, didn't they? The Bayern Munich away, if I've got that right. And you're just saying there isn't really that kind of quality there to bring on. Whereas when you remember back to Ange's time, you had 5 players coming off the bench that were improving the team. You know, and they were all like in top form. There was stages there. It was just a joy, and you were turning up every week wondering what the team was going to be, because it could change it on a bit, and you were just seeing something different. But we've kind of got to the stage at the minute, we kind of know what our first 11 is going to be. Well, saying that, I fucking contradict myself, because obviously there was massive changes on Saturday and it worked. But you would say everybody on form at the minute, you would kind of know what your first 11 would be. But you want to get to the stage where you don't. And maybe we're at that stage, obviously, because what happened on Saturday. Because does he play the exact same team at Hampden on Sunday that he played on Saturday? I don't think he will. I think he will make some changes, but I wouldn't be...
Would it be weird to sign Greg Taylor to a 3-year deal and then not play him? Like,
I'm not talking with Greg Taylor. I think he'd be the first name in the team sheet.
Uh,
But you're looking at will Maeda start? I don't think so. So Maeda will be up front, I would think. You know, and then obviously you're changing your wingers then because Maeda's not going to be playing in the wing. So is it Jota and Kuhn or does James Forrest?
I'd be honest with you, I'd pull Kuhn at the team. Because the only person I've seen playing overlaps with Johnson consistently is Engels.
No, but I'm saying at the start of the season, Johnson was bombing down that wing and he was overlapping Kuhn.
But and he still does do that, but Kuhn doesn't generally be the person that plays him in with a good pass. But at the weekend it was Engels, because remember, Maeda's goal was Engels played the overlap ball through the
Aye. But what I'm saying is Kuhn was actually, wasn't playing him in, but he was sometimes, but that was creating the space. He was dragging the defender away and Kuhn was then be able to cut inside and he was getting his shot away. That's kind of
something about what Kuhn does sometimes. It seems to me like, I don't know. I feel like you're giving me 65% of whatever you could probably give.
It's a real strange one, and you don't know if his head's been turned, if he is going to believe. I don't know. Who knows?
I know, but fuck James Forrest in there, and you're getting 100%.
But yeah, I agree with you. But you're kind of, you've got to the stage with Kuhn now. Kuhn's back to his form, what it was when he first signed. You know, when he had the toothache thing, and we didn't know about and whatever. He's kind of back at that now, and it's like, I don't know. His body language doesn't look great, and I don't know.
See, I said this before. Like when he walked around the stadium the other week, and the kids are calling for his signatures, he just waved them all off, and then fucking Joseph ran down the fucking road after him. And I was like, you know what, mate, your attitude's shit.
Liam said the same when he took Zoe up.
Your attitude's fucking shit.
He took Zoe up to get.
I'm a decent judge of character, I think, at times. You know what I mean? I've been around for a bit, and you kind of go, man, you may just be a bit of a wanker.
I won't comment on that, Joe. No idea. Never met the guy. No clue what he's all about. I don't even know what he's going through at the minute. I don't know circumstances, but at the end of the day, all we're really caring about his performance when he pulls on the Celtic jersey, and it's not really been good enough of late. So, personally, he wouldn't be my starting 11. And when you're bringing him off the bench, is he making much of a difference? I think you've got more out of Yang. You know, he's 100%.
I don't think anybody can step above James Forrest as a replacement. Like, I don't think anybody can step above.
No, and I agree with you. James Forrest, I would play him on Sunday. I would start him on Sunday. But definitely play an important part off the bench. But you would think by that time you would hope the game would be over, because let's face it, I mean, I know we lost up there a couple of weeks ago, but you think to yourself, surely we're going to win on Sunday.
And James Forrest knows Hampden. He knows that pitch. Like, I mean, some of the smashing goals he scored at Hampden. I mean,
a team that plays our type of football, Hampden is the absolute gold standard pitch for us. That big fucking Wade.
And I was talking about this at work the other day, Marty, right? And it's amazing the perception you get with certain stadiums. It's a big park, it's a small park. I think if you actually measured them, they ought to be pretty similar. But
I've said that before. Me and Scott had that not argument. Me and Scott had that discussion before. It's not the size of the pitch; it's the space around the pitch. A winger can exploit all that extra ground, can bend themselves, can see for knocking a ball on and sprinting on it. It is fucking gold, absolute gold. And if we have good wingers, they should be exploiting. But they have done. I mean, Rodgers he's never lost on Hampden. Sure, he hasn't.
I was going to say that. Not lost that. He's not lost. Obviously, we've won on penalties, but he's not lost a game at Hampden since he's been Celtic manager.
Yeah,
that's an unbelievable start.
Oh, fucking totally, absolutely, it certainly is. So you would imagine. I don't know if you want to get on to talking about the game on Sunday. Get to whatever.
We can do, but getting back to we didn't kind of really touch the William Scales thing.
Yes, you asked me about that, but yes, Rodgers seems to trust Scales. Do you know what I mean? And like he fucking spent all that money on Trusty, and you're going like, you know, Trusty, he looks decent, and at times he's playing above himself, but you're going like, would you fucking have? Would you have him in the team before Scales? I'm not sure you would. And Scales has his own limitations too. We've seen that as well. So, I bang on about the centre-back position in our fucking club and have done for absolutely years. Do you know what I mean? And we still have players like
We know you want 25 centre backs. We know that.
I know, and you can fucking see why. You're like, you need four decent centre backs at Celtic. You really do. And if you, because and that's the other thing too. You will fucking sell the ones that are good.
But
So
the big Navrocki comes in at the Rangers game,
well,
doesn't do much wrong, and then
I was,
he bombed
you,
again.
you literally took the words out of my fucking mouth because at the minute you've got Naraki sitting and you had Lager Bianca before that, and you know you're going, what the fuck? And then Rogers goes out and spends big money on Trusty, and everybody's kind of looking, going, who's this cunt? Do you know what I mean? And he's big and he's imposing, and he seemed for a while there that he was getting some sort of understanding with Carter Vickers, but but again he's reverting back to Scales, and Scales like. I think if Scales had a stand in the team, he might have been pushing for Player of the Year. Not because
I,
he's the not because he's the best player, but because he puts 100 million fucking percent into every game. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know.
I'll be
It's
honest with you, right? See now we've had a right good sample size of Trusty. If I look back when Scales was partnering CCV, I think that's our best partnership.
I think so too, Jason. Honest to God, like, and that, and maybe
I
it's a
do.
criticism. Maybe it's a criticism of us. Maybe because we haven't fucking brought in somebody better. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can only pay for the dick you have. So you'll be putting the best team out that you should be putting out, no matter what you've paid for anybody. And I've said that before. Big team players coming into your club are fucking great. And if they work out and they go straight into your first team and they're amazing, brilliant. But the point is that they can be brought in to make some other fuckhead that's already there try and keep their place and play above themselves. And to me, that's a similar situation with Liam Scales. You know what I mean? He saw Trusty coming in, he played better and all that. Got injured, fair enough. You know, and it's like I totally agree with you. Out of the pick of the bunch that we have at the minute, it's fucking Scales and Carter Vickers. Carter
Aye.
Vickers was outstanding. Like, and again, I spoke about Carter Vickers last week with Brian McColligan, and I was asking Brian about the injury that uh, Carter Vickers has. It's always more fucking annoying when it's some muscle injury rather than a break of a bone, because the bones heal dead quick, but with muscles it's always a fucking whole handling.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the point I was making last week. Then he goes out on Saturday and rifles this fucking.
Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable,
It's like
unbelievable.
I'm sitting here going, "What? Where the fuck did that come
This,
from?"
I mean, Hatati's first goal, fucking hell, unbelievable, right? You know he's got that in the locker, right?
And he's been
But
trying it for months. He's been trying to get that
aye.
for months. Do you know what I
And
mean?
by
He
the way,
finally came on.
see Hatati's second. I just loved it. See that composure in the box, just take a touch to the side, just pass it into the net.
Oh,
He made it look so easy. But
yep.
how many folk would make a pig's ear of that, you know? But just,
exactly.
but see, and obviously,
but for Vickers to have the balls to do it and just go, no, it is fuck,
just
and here we
what
go.
a goal it was! It was brilliant. It was great.
Everybody's nice saying, why hasn't he done that before? What the fuck? Where's this been?
The stadium absolutely erupted. That's what I was saying before you come on, right? There's a load of Basques there. I get like 9 Athletic fans tickets, and my mate Jabby for Guernica, his son and his 2 pals. And it was after the game. We had a pint with them into town, and they were like that. We were Celtic were so good, and it turns out it was a world record. They beat Barcelona's record with the amount of passes that we hit in the game.
That. What the fuck?
And they actually mentioned that your passing game is unbelievable. This is obviously the quality opposition. We watch Athletic Club in La Liga, and by the way, we weren't talking Euskara, by the way, we were talking English. So they were like, we were amazed. And my mate Jane and Steve that were up for Liverpool, they were like that. And that was a treat to watch that game. You know, and you can argue the rights and wrongs about the level of opposition we're playing, right? But for watching Celtic, it was an absolute pleasure the first half. Second half was a bit of a non-event apart from Ralston's goal, but it was just absolutely brilliant. You know, it was great to be there and great to watch. The sun was splitting the trees. The Bath Ultra groups were on top voice. You know, everybody was just a right brilliant Celtic day. You know, really, really good. And Aye, it was, and after the game, when the team did the wee lappy on him, that you could see all Brender's. It was well beaming. But aye, happy days, really, really good. And aye, it was brilliant. So I don't know. Do you want to? Let's do a wee segue and keep. Let me.
Abrax, you're Tim and Abrax.
Oh no, forget it. Well, that I can give you a wee rundown there if you want. That was a bit of a kind of non-event, but I went to see Athletic play at Ibrox. All my Basque mates come over, and we had a great day in Glasgow with them. Oh, they just loved it. The sun was splitting the trees as well. Fucking hell. Like, Glasgow was unbelievable. And see the wee Capo boy, see the guy I told you about, the boy San Mamez, he's got the mic.
Right.
So I went to meet him in town on the Wednesday night, and he walked in the pub. He's like, "Yes, he says, I see you everywhere." And so we ended up we had all day on the Thursday as well. But a brilliant day. And so they all left to do like the walk to Ibrox, but I didn't do it. Ellie was coming in; she was at the game with us, and so we ended up phoning the guy. We got a minibus. So a minibus came and picked us up at 6:30, just dropped us at the way end, and we got in. And it was. Oh,
was it as bad getting in as it was for the Celtic fans getting in the
walk straight in, mate. I'll tell you another thing, right? I heard loads of Rangers fans didn't get in to San Mamés last night because their names didn't match up with the passports. Because my mate sent me a photo. He was behind the goal. So he sent me a photo, and it was the full stadium. And see, when you looked up, this was in the kick-off. There was big sections at the back of the Rangers end that was empty, and they totally sold out. And the thousands were there without tickets. So I do think loads of them didn't get in. So we had to give our passport numbers to Bilbao over the Athletic Club. We had to send our passport numbers over to Bilbao, and the names were wrote on the tickets, but they're just wrote with pen. But nobody looked at anything. You just walked in. You know, we got out the minibus, walked right up to the turnstiles. There was no queues and anything, just straight in.
Says it all.
Nobody even checked a thing. So, and I'll tell you what, because that's obviously the thing we're going to get when we go there in a few weeks. You can create a right good atmosphere in it. You know, it feels. Because obviously I went when we only had the 800 tickets. I only went once. I went the first time we played there with 800, and it was absolutely terrible. You know, you're stuck in that corner. But this new bit that we've got, you've got a top and bottom tier, and it's like, it feels a wee bit like the old Broomland Road, kind of, when you're in the middle of it, you know, because there's a load of these. So anybody that goes will be a good atmosphere once we play them. But I don't think I'll go, to be honest with you, even if I get a ticket, because I believe you're going to have to be in the stadium at 10 in the morning against Israel. I'm just, fuck that. Then you're kept in for fucking, you're kept in for, I don't know, half an hour after the game. I think they only kept Athletic fans in 20 minutes. Once we walked out, we had a minibus sitting waiting us, and I left all my mates, all the Basques. The young Chavy's boys, they says they walked a good bit after it and jumped on like a bus, just a service bus into the town centre. So it was all right. It was Athletic were shite, you know. They went down to 10 men. Athletic didn't know what to do, and then fucking that goal get chalked off. Then they missed the penalty. Oh, for fuck! And by the way, see what you forget the racket they cunts make. Oh fuck! Man. See when you're standing there in that full stadium, it's fucking putting in Holland. You're like, oh, get me fucking out of here.
Yeah,
you know?
There's an awful lot of hate you can feel, isn't there?
Oh God. But it was interesting, and there was a load of Athletic fans. It was all families. They all half and half Rangers scarves. Some of the young bastards were going to have them up with them. Fucking fascistas, grabbing the scarves after them. You're like, it's only rains, mate.
Sure, Mark Dingwall was fucking saying it never happened.
Oh,
there was no pulling of the scarves. We were going
there was plenty, I can assure you.
Oh, the pulling of the scarves.
and then there was one Athletic fan in the top tier with a Rangers flag wrapped on him. standing right at the front, and all these bastards next to me were getting after them. They were trying to climb up.
He's a spy. He's a spy. That boy's a spy.
They're telling the stewards and that, fucking, they're shouting basket the steward. They're like, stewards like, I don't know what to fucking do. The steward went around and said to the guy, take that off. Guy's like, no. Fucking, they're all getting after them. Not good.
There's always one. For fuck's sake,
you're
there's
just
always
pushing
one.
us there laughing. But
fucking contrarian.
It was that inexperience. But there you go. So we get the minibus back early, parked the car, and she drove us home. But it was a great day meeting my mates and that. Really, really good. And
Damn was patient, fairness.
It was shite. And then, so obviously last night was a different kettle of fish. I thought Athletic were brilliant. They just missed a number 9. The big guy played all right, and he won them the penalty. And but we need to discuss about the quality of the Castore shots. Oh, Jesus, man. Jesus, what about that? I went to the toilet. Me and Mick went to the tavern to watch it, right? And I went to the toilet and I came out. Mick's like, they're getting a penalty here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because the game was still going on. He says, 100%. He says, they're going to pull that back and they're getting a penalty. And I'm like, then it should be.
Desser's one?
No, Desser's eye when he pulled his shirt. And then I seen it back. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And see, to be fair, it was a penalty. Right. See, when you watch it again, right, there was no way that was enough for him to fall down.
No, I think that's the problem. I think if he had a fucking just done the shirt thing, it was the fact he fucked himself down that done him. I think that because that referee last night let everything go. He was doing his best to fucking not book players and whatever else. And Williams at the other end did a dive, and he pulled him for it at the very start. And then Dessers did that too. And I think if he had a fucking just went, what the fuck? If he'd have walked over with his own fucking shirt, your mum would have probably said penalty. It was the fact that he tried to fucking make a cunt out of it. I think that done him. The referee I think he was French. And I was watching the whole match and I was going, this guy's letting everything go here. Very few fouls, blah, blah, blah. There was fouls happening. They were pulling and hauling at each other. I was like, wasn't a fucking WWF? But they were all at it. Do you know what I mean? They were all fucking doing it. The Athletic were doing it and the Huns were doing it too. So he was going, well, fuck yous if yous are all doing it. There was one in the box, he ran over, it was a corner, and he ran over and spoke to the keeper and he spoke to the cunt. I don't know, it might have been Dessers again at that one too. But he went over and he said to him, he says, if you seen him doing you, but he didn't take anybody, he didn't stop anybody from doing it. So he was basically fucking saying, yous are all doing it, stop fucking shouting at me. Yous are hauling to the shore, so, fuck yous.
Aye. So, as I say, the big boy Sanadi up front for them, right? He's he's all right. But I actually think he played pretty well last night, but no as a centre forward. He done loads of runs, but Athletic had so many chances, but they just didn't take them. And it was like every shot they had, there was a block. And see, to be honest, we see that mob set themselves up well. See, in Europe, it's like they keep their shape. And it was only when Athletic got the penalty, they came out in the second half and started opening up a bit. And they had like a couple of kind of obviously that one Raskin hit the post. But I didn't even know it was a save for the keeper. But when Nico Williams got the bullet head,
I was brilliant. Yo!
And then the atmosphere in that stadium, the racket. Yeah. Unbelievable. And I
love the Celtic taps and the tricolours though. I was pointing them out, going, me and Jojo watching, going like, there you go.
There was no shortage of them, was there?
Fucking plenty.
It's. Do you know? I did a post on Facebook today, and I took some abuse for it, right? But I still believe it, right? And I don't know if you see it, right? See, at the end of the day, I'm a Celtic fan, right? I love Celtic. Celtic play Athletic Club in Europe. I want Celtic to win 10-0. Fact, right? But see, Athletic Club, they're the greatest football team in the world. I don't care what Andy says. Just their full philosophy, the way they go about it. Football's been corrupted by money. And I'm not saying Athletic don't pay big wages, right? But they are totally unique in the world. They've got 11 fans that play for them. they've got, right, you think about it, the Basque Country, they only sign people for the Basque Country, but the conception that you must be Basque to play with them is wrong, because at the end of the day, if you're Jojo, right, Joe, say you were to move to, well, you and Fiona, or Fiona got a job in the Basque Country tomorrow, or you got a job in the Basque Country and you've moved there, right. And young Joseph goes to athletic youth team and comes through the youth team, he can play with them as long as he was formed in the Basque Country. You can actually see if he went to a youth team with Alaves, or a youth team with Osasuna, or a youth team with La Real, or a youth team with Eibar, and he comes through it, he can play with Athletic Club because he was formed in the Basque Country. So,
this is only in a football context, obviously, yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. we're not basketball here.
No. But I mean, like, it's not in a cultural context. It doesn't need to be your cultural heritage. You need to have played football and be formed, like, in a football academic style, I suppose, if you want to think about it that way, in a Basque region.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, like, so say.
I've just explained it to you.
I know,
if you move to the Basque Country and your son goes to a youth academy with a professional club in the Basque Country, and he comes up through their ranks, and then he becomes a player, a professional football player, he can play with Athletic Club because he was formed in the Basque Country. His football was formed in the Basque Country. He came through their cantera. So he could play with Athletic Club. So you don't have to be born, but they only sign Basques. They don't sign anybody that's not from the Basque Country. But you must be from the Basque Country or formed in the Basque Country.
And therefore you must be in the Basque Country at that point.
What about that fucking wanker Rory Hamilton last night on the fucking commentary?
I didn't hear it. I was in... What was he saying?
Well, Ali, the Basque only saying a certain fucking type of person. Do you think Rangers should do this? Because it seems to be working for them. Where the fuck were you for the last 100 years, you stupid Christ. Fucking cunt? You fucking moron bastard, you.
So here's back to my point, right? Here's back to my point, right? When you think about it, the Basque Country has got 2 million people, roughly, right? 50% of them are male, right? And what? 30% of them will be young males that are of athletic ability. So when you actually look at it, they're pulling for a pool of about 250,000 folk, 500,000 folk maybe. I don't think about it, right? So 1 million are males. So, but 30% of them, 40% would be at a young age that can play football. So you're talking about they've got a pool of people that can play with their football club of roughly 300,000. And that's it. There's no more. They've never been relegated for the best league in the world. They've won 3rd most domestic trophies in that league. And they're now in the semi-finals of the Europa League. They get beat in the final with Atletico Madrid maybe 12 years ago or whatever, I can't remember, in Bucharest. So they won the Copa del Rey last year. They've won second amount of Copa del Reys to Barcelona. They're only a couple behind Barcelona. And you think to yourself, that's been their policy since day dot. And the great Jose Angel Araba was asked once, he says, do you think Athletic, and by the way, bear in mind, all Basque teams used to have this policy, but they all gave it up. Because Athletic's the big club. You know, La Real did it, and then they signed John Aldridge, was their first non-Basque player that played with them. But they all still have their Cantera policy, and they bring everything's based on the youth coming through. The Cantera, it's like the mine, they call it. They go to the mine to bring the best, they dig for the mine and bring it up. But when you actually think of them as a football institution, there's nobody like them in the world. I mean, there will be other small teams, but But you're talking about a top level team that's operating at the top. And I'm like, what I said wasn't controversial. I just think it's a fact. I'm a Celtic fan, right? Celtic means more to me than any other team in the world, without a doubt. But as a football fan, when you actually look at some objectively, I don't even think it's up for argument. So, what do you think? Am I an idiot? Or?
Definitely the most unique expression of football in the world. In terms of like the world and culturally, it is completely a one-off.
And my point to Jose Angel, he got asked, right, and he says, do you not think Athletic should change their policy? And he says no. He says, I think every other football club in the world should change their policy to be like ours.
Listen,
And,
it's worked for them. They've never been relegated.
yep.
Like, honestly, like you did a big, was it during COVID? You did a big deep dive on it. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. And here, do the fucking argue with them that they're an expression of their nationality. I have a problem with the Huns because theirs was, first of all, the denial it even fucking existed when it was happening. I mean, we're not sectarian. We have a fucking uh, a Catholic in our youth team or something fucking nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Now, in fairness to the Huns, it's all gone now. Like, and you saw the reaction last week when Paul Maskey from Sinn Féin was at right.
I didn't want to bring that up, but that was
No,
phenomenal.
why wouldn't? But here's the thing, Joe. It wasn't phenomenal. It was a decent thing that people were doing. It wasn't. It was. There was nothing
The
political about it.
response was just fucking ridiculous, though.
Paul Maskey wasn't the only Republican in that. See if you saw that photograph of them all on the marble fucking staircase. I wouldn't have went to the fucking marble staircase, but I can assure you, Paul Maskey was not the only Republican there because I knew 6 or 7 of them who were there, including my ma's at our fucking Irish class tonight, and the guy who takes our fucking Irish class was there. So there was several Irish Republicans there who were very happy to go because of what they were going for. It was to do with motor neuron disease. It was fuck all to do with politics, nothing to do with nobody. You know what I mean? But they just went fucking mental. And I need to kind of hold my hands up here. Paul Maskey's my friend. Me and Paul are very close. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And Paul is the nicest, most decent fucking person you'd ever meet in your life. He would do anything for anybody. In fact, there was an Ulster Unionist candidate stood in West Belfast in the last elections. It was a woman, and it was the first time in whatever the fuck 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or whatever that an Ulster Unionist had stood in West Belfast. And Paul phoned her up and brought her down for a coffee and had a cup of tea with her just for no reason, just to say, look, you're safe. Let's have a cup of tea and a chat. And that's Paul Maskey, a very, very decent man. And Paul was not doing anything for any political reasons or anything like that. And them fucking dickheads lost their minds over it. You know what I mean? But one of the guys, Peardy, is on the huddle board, and Peardy was on the bike. He was there, and he said that the Huns, they were pressed for time. Obviously, they had to get to Celtic Park before the match, and he says that the Rangers had offered them a buffet, and the roll the red carpet out for them, or the blue carpet out for them. Says they were fucking almost overly accommodating. He says there was, and it was a genuine thing. They knew that they were doing a good thing, and the Huns were the hierarchy of Rangers says were genuinely happy that they were there and went out of their way to try and help them. And Pierce said they offered us a buffet and all, and we hadn't got time to do it. Says, but it was a really genuine offer, and they brought the role players and all to meet them. And then you have these other fucking moron maniacs who literally lost their fucking minds over it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what gets lost in the mix there, Marty? About the whole motor neurons disease thing is like, who are the 2 players that link Celtic and Rangers when it comes to that days? Jimmy Johnson, Fernando Rickson, and Jimmy Johnson.
And there was no requirement whatsoever.
And nobody, like, none of these cunts are mentioning that. Like, not mentioning like the people did a good thing.
But there was no requirement whatsoever to include Fernando Rickson in this at all. None. They're all Celtic fans. They were going to Celtic Park, and yet they did a decent thing. I said no, actually, we should, because he suffered from the same debilitating illness. What the genesis of that was Anto Finnegan, the Antrim player, So determined the term MND is his charity. Anto died a couple of years ago. Anto was the Antrim captain, the Antrim football captain, who developed motor neuron disease. So this is being done on his memory. So they had no requirement. There was no reason to include Fernando Rickson at all, but they did. They thought it was a decent thing to do because he suffered from the same fucking terrible, debilitating, awful, chronic disease that motor neuron disease is, and used as an opportunity to mark his contribution or whatever. And these sectarian nutcases who unfortunately have the ability to own a fucking iPhone and give their views to people lost their shit.
Aye.
It's fucking nuts, like.
And see,
Could you imagine if it was the other way around? And there was a crowd from the Shankill going to Celtic Park?
they'd
Nobody
be
would give a
welcome.
fuck. Nobody
Aye.
would give a fuck. It wasn't those
Exactly.
two fiddlers.
Fully celebrated.
Unless you knew they were there, nobody would notice. You know what I mean? We don't like nobody the fuck. Oh, they're doing that. Well, very good. Fair play to them.
Aye, exactly.
And off you go and about your fucking business. You know, when you have these sectarian lunatics.
And here's a wee story I'll tell you, right? It's a big guy I used to work with, Neil, right? I worked with him up in 5 years ago. Big blue nose, right? Goes everywhere with Rangers, right? Nice big fella, right? Rangers daft. And me and him used to sit and have a lunch every day when I worked with him. Lovely big fella, right? And he was going to Bilbao. So he messages me. And he's like, I know you girl there a lot, mate. Because he likes Chelsea and all, right? The typical big blue nose, right? And I was in a flight years ago.
Loyalist bingo, is it?
Aye. So I was in a flight years ago. I put on fucking Facebook or something. I was getting a flight doing Everton. We're playing. Was it West Ham? Can't remember. They're playing in London. I think it was West Ham. Playing West Ham away. So I was meeting my mates in King's Cross. All the Scousers, they were getting off the train. So I flew down to Luton, and I was on the bus for Luton to the Luton Airport, Luton train station to get the train down to King's Cross. And I stuck on Facebook, off to see the Toffees today, meeting the Scousers in King's Cross. And he sent us a message. He says, I'm in King's Cross today, mate. He says, I've got the wee man down to see Chelsea today. I'm like, where are you? I says, I'll come and get a drink with you. So I says, I'm meeting all my mates in the Euston Flyer. I says, come there. So he came in, he sat there with his wee lad. So I went and got a pint with him. And all the Everton boys have come in. They're like, oh, fucking you collaborating with fucking Orange Jace. I'm like, big deal. He's massive, right? Big gentle giant, right? Great big guy. So anyway, a couple of pints and he went his way to see Chelsea with his son, and we all went to East London to watch Everton, right? So I've kept in contact with him on Facebook and stuff like that. So he's gone to, he messaged me. He says, I'm going to Bilbao, mate. He says, I'm not too sure we'll be welcome out there. What do you think? And he's like, by the way, bearing in mind, we're all well above 50. We do the same as with Paddy when we get away. He says, we avoid Rangers fans. We just do our own thing, go for a couple of meals, couple of pints, go to the game, that's it. And I says, listen, mate, I says, see if you do that and you go to Bilbao and you respect them and you respect their culture, I says, you won't have any problems whatsoever. He's like, right. He says, any recommendations? He told us where he was staying. So I gave him a restaurant near where he was staying and told him a couple of things what to do. I says, get the funicular railway up and see Bilbao and all that. Gave him a couple of pointers what to do, how to get to it. I says, make sure you're in the game early. I says, it could be a wee bit hairy. Tell him after the game. I says, that can be a bit dodgy. And obviously it'll be a powder keg game and all that. So I gave him as much advice as I could. So obviously you've seen all the videos, things kicking off and stuff like that. And I knew he wouldn't be involved in anything like that. And he sent us a message when they were eating the meal. He's like, mate, he says, this is one of the best fucking meals I've ever had in my life. He's like, unbelievable. And he says, the people are just so nice. And I was like, I tell you. And I says, make sure you say a scary casco instead of gracias and all that. So he messaged me this morning. I sent him a message last night. I says, I hope you had a good night. I says, obviously, blah, blah, talk about the game and stuff. And he messaged me this morning when he was at Gatwick. He says, that's us just in the way Gatwick. He says, what a city, mate. He says, atmosphere in the stadium, unbelievable. He says, the people were just so nice to us. And he's like, he says, I had an amazing time. He says, thanks for all your recommendations and all that, and all the guys. So it just shows you, do you know what I mean? See if you're a decent person.
Basic
and you
fucking
go,
human decency.
Exactly. And you go
Yes.
and you respect their culture and you're just nice to folk. People are nice back to you.
I know.
You know,
Imagine like it's a fucking such a fucking hard thing to fathom, isn't it? Like,
it's no rocket science, you know.
Just, you know what though? It's a dying art though.
I mean, it's like it's mental. Look, folk think like I mean, we've all seen the videos. We've all seen what happened with Ranger supporters and battles and stuff like that last night and every night. And there was always going to be that. You've seen the athletic fans are very, very politically motivated and very akin to Celtic, and they all love us. And like, there's loads of them come out to watch us. There's loads of Celtic fans go and watch them. There's a definite link between the two clubs. But at the end of the day, if you go over there as a decent person and you go over there, respect their culture and whatever, none of them will do any. Do you know what I mean? It's not, they'll respect you. You know, it doesn't matter what, you know, it's
humility is not a common human skill these days, apparently.
Well, I thought I'd share that wee story. So
that's brilliant though. I'm glad you're a token ethnic Hun friend.
No, it's nice to be nice, you know, and he's a lovely big guy, and he just with him.
You've always got to have one in the pocket though, just to keep your.
So I was buzzing last night. I was absolutely buzzing. So that's Man United. Fucking hell! What a comeback they had.
Did you see?
That was insane.
You know?
Did you see all them stupid bastards who left or watching TVs through the window?
Oh, jeez. But do you know what? There was a part of me was actually, I don't know whether this is, obviously I want Athletic to win it, right? But there was a part of me was glad they come back. I think Leon's a better team than them. I don't know what you think.
No, well, I wouldn't watch enough of them to know. But I thought Bilbao, like, they were infuriating because you know they're a better team than how they played over those two legs. We've been like me and you watch them regular, so you know what the bastards are capable of. Do you know what I mean? You're going, fuck, are they going to fuck this up? But I think a 1-0 win would have been harsh on Bilbao. I think the 2-0 was just right, as you say. When that header went in, you were just like, fuck, and here we go. you knew there was no way back. But Rangers, I've said this all season. Rangers are the Rangers players, without a fucking shadow of a doubt, were trying to get Clement sacked. And they were playing well when the TV cameras were turned up, and they were just giving up when they weren't. Do you know what I mean? When they were playing their ordinary run-of-the-mill SPL games, they did not give a fuck, but they were playing well above themselves in Europe, and they were playing well above themselves when they were playing us. So, and that tells you all you need to know. So last night, I think they had just run out of road, and loads of injuries, and players fucking who had been sent off and stuff like that as well. So I just think, that was it. They had basically expanded themselves. Thank fuck.
The thing that got me, mate, see when you're listening to the interviews and when the TV was there and all the Bears that were there, that you're listening, every one of them was confident. And you're listening to podcasts and stuff like that, they're all confident.
But sure, look at there was a thing on the huddle board today about the thing from the Daily Record yesterday morning. So it was Keith Jackson and two other journalists, and they were all saying, "Oh, it's this is going to be the fucking hardest test Rangers have faced all year. Athletic are amazing. They've got all these great players. They're playing at home. Sam Mays is wonderful. Rangers have an injury list. Fucking Proper gets sent off. He's just the centre back. I can't think, but Rangers are going to win."
Do you know it was
what the fuck is wrong with you people?
The only one was that Roger Hanna. He came out and says, "No, I don't think they'll win." He says, but he says it.
He raised for the Sun. The three of them, the fucking Daily Record cunts. That was the whole tune of their bit. But every one of them said, "No, Rangers will win 2-1, 2-1, 2-1."
And like, hang on, they were 8-1 with the bookies. Fucking bet 365, aren't they daft? And I'm going like to myself, what parallel universe am I living in here that they're going to San Mamés favourites. Athletic have won every single European home game, every single one this season. So I'm like, what parallel universe am I living in that they're actually going into that game favourites? That is bonkers. And it, as I've said before, the big boy Sanadi up front, for the life of me, I can't get my head around. They must have somebody. But he played no bad last night, but let's face it, he played with the Alaves B team for 3 years. Then he went on loan to Baracaldo, one of the local teams to Bilbao. And then Athletic signed him in 2025. And, but, I mean, you're just saying to yourself, he's leading the line every game. And you're like, fucking surely they must have somebody better in the youth academy. But that's then again, you've got the limitations. See if someone isn't coming through with their youth academy that can take the jersey. You know, that's when they always, I mean, they leave their skin on the park, right? But they're not the best players in the world. They've just got this inbuilt. Like, they'll fight to the death for that jersey, right? But they aren't the best players, and there just becomes times when they just don't have like a top striker. The Raul Garcia for years, when he played, he was like nearly 40, you know, but they don't have like a top striker, and you can tell they miss it so much. They get the Williams brothers and that, and Anaki was on the bench. He got injured. He got injured at the Real Vallecano game, but they actually had him on the bench. And Eusebio did call it before. He says we'll bring him on if we need to bring him on in the second half. But they obviously didn't need to bring him on. So at the end of the day, all's well that ends well.
It really was. Like, and the fact that the fucking finals in the San Mamés is motivation enough. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, that they could be playing that final in their own stadium, and you would not bet against them. Like you were saying that the Huns were 8-1, but fuck me, you wouldn't bet against Bilbao. Definitely not. Definitely not.
No, it's
is it written? Is it written because it's the San Mamés? Is it written?
Well, no, but here's the thing, Joe. Like you seen Man United last night. Like you cannot. When you get to this stage of the competition, it was exactly the same with us with Boavista. Do you know what I mean? It's you just have to be so on your fucking game. And look at Seville. Look at how well Seville have done in that competition over the last 10 years. You know, you have to be so on your pump when it gets to that stage. So everything will have to go right for them. But they're a decent team, so why wouldn't it?
Do you know what I would say? But do you think the quality is dropped because they don't have the fall down for the Champions League now?
I do think that's true. I
don't know. I don't know if it's true, Jason, to be honest. I don't know.
No, because you're losing a certain caliber of team coming in to the competition at a late stage to kind of juice it up a bit.
But here, fucking Man United's playing on the fucking thing. Like Man United,
they're shite.
I know, but you know what I mean. But like 10 years ago, you'd have been saying, "Oh, Man United will be like a Europa."
But Man United now, haven't they? The Man United of old, because you look.
No, 100% exactly. But my point being is like they have a budget beyond belief, like well beyond Bilbao's, well beyond Lyon's. Fucking hell!
But their team is absolute shite.
No, no arguments. But here, at the end of the day, they're in a fucking European semi-final.
Do you know what? How get away, Marty? It makes the cup element, the tournament element better because it's the teams that are in the tournament only. That side of it, yes, I can agree with, because there's no mixing. That part of it probably makes it more of a tournament because it's the teams that enter the tournament, it's the teams that play the tournament, and there's no mixing. And that part of it, I do fair to be a bit better. And
that's probably through the Bodo Glimt.
Well, their home form is unbelievable.
Oh, look at the done last night. It was fuck me, and it's funny because they're meeting up with fucking Ange again. I'm sure he's ready for throwing himself off something fucking high.
Oh, Ange's probably going to strangle somebody in a press conference live on TV.
Fuck that hell, these cunts again. You know, it's like
could it be all written in the stars that Ange wins a trophy every second season at every club?
I know.
But you know what? That's what I told the Chaz and Dave chat. He went trophies. That's not a reply to my text anymore.
But
But
here,
aye,
and here, that's the madness of Spurs, right? This is no joke. Like Spurs are fucking insane. Ange could win that competition and they'd still sack him. Do you know what I
aye.
mean? They'd be like, "That's what the
Do you know what
fuck."
though? I think that's proper Ange though. Win a trophy and get fucking sacked. Oh fuck this, and then head off into the sunset. I mean, if you was Ange, I'd want to get fired from Spurs, just go off and live in fucking Australia the rest of my life
But
with my fucking football money.
but
I mean,
here's
the guy hit the lottery, furthest like.
aye, oh totally. But here's the thing, right? You've got the Europa League semi-finals, right? So you've got Spurs against Bodo Glimt, you've got Athletic Club against Man United. Man United are 14th in the Premiership, Spurs are 15th. Everton are above the two of them. fucking Everton were getting fucking relegated before, by the way, 100% relegated if they didn't get Davy Moyes in and Sean Dyche was still the manager, right? A team of fucking absolute nonsense, right? But Moyes has got the best out of them, right? So they're above both of them. So Man United 14th in the Premiership, Spurs 15th. Athletic are sitting 4th in La Liga, and Bodo Glimt are just Bodo Glimt. So you've got to fancy Athletic Club to win it, but you never.
That's what you would think. I mean,
you never know.
Here it's see in terms of Moyes. Moyes is like your ex-girlfriend coming back with the right touch. I mean,
Here, listen to me carefully, Jofus. Nobody in the fucking world gave Davy Moyes more grief than Jason fucking Higgins.
I know.
Totally.
Oh,
By the way, do you know this is a right good segue to come in here, right? Mind I gave you start with the thing that I used to beat him about all the time. It was Everton for 10 years and he never won a game away to a top 4 side in his full 10-year career, right, with Everton. He fucking done it last week. Notts Forest.
Exactly. Do you know what? Because he knows you're mates with Johnny Owen. He's like, fuck this cunt.
But see, to be fair, right, I did say I did want him back when the names were all getting mentioned. Out of the lot of them, he was the safest bet to keep them up. And that's all I wanted was for Everton to stay up.
Here's the thing, right? Which managers have Everton had since he left?
Well, for the load. But that Ancelotti, especially, he was brilliant.
Ancelotti, what did you call your man fucking that cunt manager Liverpool? Spanish waiter.
Aye, Benitez.
Benitez,
the boy that was a Tottenham manager as well. What's his face?
Pochettino? No?
No. The other boy.
Fucking BVL, that's fucking name.
Give me a second. I just need to Google it. I can't even mind his name. Silva,
right? Who else is there?
The load.
That's 3.
It's actually hard to believe Ancelotti managed Everton. Like, what the fuck? I mean,
was Duncan Ferguson at one point?
Frank Lampard. Duncan Ferguson for 3 games. Frank Lampard as well.
I'll go for it. That's 5 managers. Right? Is that it?
It's like, you get a management job. You get a management job. You get a management job. Everybody gets a management job.
Marco Silva was the other one. So it was Marco Silva. He managed Spurs, didn't he?
Fucking 5. I
tell you, the tune that Moyes has got to them is fucking unbelievable. They went to Notts Forest and they were the better team. With a mile. You know, they've kind of fell off a cliff. I don't even think they'll get the Champions League this season. I think Man City are below them, aren't they?
They're all expecting fucking Guardiola to go.
So Notts Forest are sitting 4th at the minute with 57 points. You've got Man City in 55, Chelsea 54, Villa in 54. So one of the 3 will definitely get above Notts Forest before the end of the season, I think. See, Newcastle, they're in a right good run.
They're doing well.
They can still get caught, but Arsenal's in 63, so they're basically guaranteed in it. But I wouldn't be confident in Notts Forest. They've lost their last 2. But Man City or Chelsea, I would see Man City. You would think they would kind of get into that position, but there you go. So Aye, so it's interesting. Europa League semis, like 2 teams, 14th and 15th of the Premiership, Athletic 4th in La Liga, and Bodo Glint. Fucking watch Bodo Glint. Fucking the thing with Bodo Glint is their home games is a massive advantage. Obviously, when it gets to the final, it's a 1.5 game in an away stadium. But you would if Athletic beat Man United to get to that final playing either Spurs or Bodo Glint, you'd fancy them. But Spurs are good enough to win it without a doubt. You know, you seen when they went to fucking Main Road or the City Ground or whatever it's called. The fucking what's Man City's ground called?
Etihad.
Etihad. Aye. You seen when they went there, they fucking destroyed them. So they could win it, you know, without a doubt. I don't see Bodo Glint winning it, but I could see any of the other 3 winning it. So, aye, we'll wait and see. But I sincerely hope Athletic get there. It'll be interesting in Bilbao. Like, obviously, they'll only get half the stadium. So, I don't know how it would work. Because I remember when Athletic played in La Copa final, they've played all the finals of the Copa del Rey in the stadium that we lost to Porto in that Olympic stadium in Sevilla. So that's where they've all been played in the past, I don't know, maybe the past 4 or 5 years. So I don't know if they're going to keep doing it. I'm not entirely sure this year where the finals go. Because they used to actually, they would rotate, run about all the grounds in La Liga. So they would tell you at the start of the season where the final was getting played. So the two finals I went to when Athletic were playing, one was in the Mestalla against Barca. Another one was in Vicente Calderón against Barca again, the Atletico Madrid stadium. So I didn't go to the one that was in the Camp Nou when Athletic played Barcelona, and it was mental. There was more Athletic fans in the stadium than Barcelona fans. You know, it was like half and half, but there was Athletic fans in the Barcelona because they're rabid. Do you know what I mean? They'll take 100,000. You know, when they get to a final, you know, they're just like fucking obsessed. And it was when it played in the Camp Nou, me and Linda were up in Edinburgh for the weekend. We were watching that Malone's, I think, Edinburgh. And there was fucking Athletic fans everywhere. And you're like, fucking unbelievable, you know. But it'll be interesting if it's at San Mamés. Obviously, they'll do everything to get in the stadium, but the dream for them would be if they beat Man United for Bodo Glint, because how many fans have they got? But what would they bring, like 10,000 or something? I don't know, you wouldn't need a big fan base, would you?
Do they?
Well,
no idea.
I've no clue what their stadium had. So that would be the dream for Athletic Club, because they would like hoover up every kind of ticket. So I don't know. I wouldn't think they would have a big fan base, but obviously if Spurs play there, they would bring fucking all sorts. You know, so it'd definitely be a 50-50 split if Spurs go there. But I suppose the nightmare for the people of Bilbao is, can you imagine Spurs playing Man United in Bilbao?
Oh,
final?
Fuck.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. You know what?
How do you police that?
That's murder.
How do you police that? Because it's a small city. It's walkable, you know. There isn't you couldn't give like Spurs an area and Man United an area. It just wouldn't. It would. You could possibly you could maybe say because the main concentration of bars, right? There's the Old Town. There's a load of bars there. That's kind of a wee bit away from the stadium, but it's like a 20-minute walk, right? And then you've got Posas that's right next to the stadium where there's hundreds of bars there. So you could maybe tell one set of fans to go one place and the other to go to the Old Town. But the ones in the Old Town would need to walk through the other bit to get to the stadium.
I'm looking here. Bodo Glimt Stadium holds 8,250.
There you go. There you go. So I would reckon they would bring maybe 10,000 fans. So that would be the dream for Athletic Club if they could
get the rest of the
play
fucking
them. Aye.
They still have the best fucking song out of Scott McCurry's One on Ones. Yo, Bodo Glimt. Yep, there's Scott Bodo Glimt. Fuck, I was dancing about the fucking kids in the album.
I don't know where Scott finds those,
Yo,
but like they're amazing. Some of those fucking songs are outrageously good.
Ah, they're fucking brilliant. Scott always asks for like, tell us your worst song. But that one was a fucking cracker. I think he only had one fucking song.
Yeah. So what about one thing I want to bring up as well? Dundee United's pricing.
That's
40,
it's
42
absolutely
pound.
like how's there not a court case and
Away
not a
for
something
away
for
time.
Do
Aye.
you know what I found out? Right, I found out the SPFL rules. Right,
Well, this is what I was about to ask you. Is there not a rule against
right.
gouging
So
away fans?
there isn't. But do you know what the rule is? The rule is that if you sell whatever price you sell your tickets to away fans, you must have a home section that's paying the same price. And do you know what they've done to get around it? They've actually brought in, so they have home section that's pay. Obviously, they don't sell out their home section with season tickets. So their home section, they need to charge £42. But they've brought in, if you buy a ticket at £42, you can bring a friend for a tenner.
Bastards.
No way.
So they've got run it that way, but it's an absolute fucking joke.
That's
It's,
scandalous, like absolute scandal.
I mean, I'll be at the game, right, and I'll pay the 42 quid, but I would love Celtic fans to fucking boycott it and
I
just
know,
no fucking
listen,
pay
and
the money.
that's what it will take. And look what happened with St Johnson. Like St Johnson reversed their decisions on the treatment of our fans recently, so it can be done. Like it can be done, but they're expecting us to win the league, so the fucking like as you say, you're going to pay it, so they have you over a barrel in that sense. But you would boycott their game next year and say if you want to get £42 out of us today, not a fucking problem. You'll not be getting any more out of us again. Fuck yous.
But we should get organised and do that.
Well,
You know, it's
I'll be telling them that this is the point. This is where we don't really have that strong of a structure like it would take. Maybe the trust or somebody like Jeanette to do it. You know, to say, listen, don't bother at all. You'll be getting the money out of us this year. No fucking sweat. But with 2 games to play against you next year, and you'll not be getting the bean out of us. The place will be empty. Fuck yous.
I know. It's an absolute disgrace.
It is
It's
like
shot.
it's a charge and scandal. And what they're saying is what they're saying. Oh, we have extra security costs. We have extra costs.
Load of shite.
Cancel your security. You don't need security. None of your fans are going to be there. Who the fuck are you securing against? What's the security? It's going to be fucking wall to wall Celtic fans.
Aye,
So
up for a party.
where's the risk exactly? It's not like you're fucking playing Rangers at a like an agreed away game or something at a neutral venue. It's 200 of your fans and all the rest of this fucking stadium's going to be fully our ones. Fuck yous. And that's what I'd be saying to them. Listen, not a
That's
problem.
no
You can charge
200.
us.
They're going to have the. I mean, we're getting the same allocation as we normally get.
No,
So
but
that
none of their fans are going to turn up. They've made the top six. They're not going to want to stand and watch
no,
us
they will.
celebrating the
No,
fucking.
that's no. They won't turn up.
They
They'll have the
will.
same support there as they have against us at Mace games. You know, they've got behind the goal, and then they've got that 2-tier stand across for the main stand.
But they
We'll
don't
have
fill them, Jason. And
they don't.
tomorrow's going to, or sorry, not tomorrow, but that match is going to be a party, and they're not going to want us to fucking. They're not going to want to sit and watch us fucking basically fucking partying in their stadium. So
Well, let's face it, we've won the league there twice in recent seasons,
yeah,
right?
and
And there's been no trouble whatsoever.
no,
So
not a fucking bit of it.
this pish that they need extra police and a load of fucking cat.
And you know who the £10 tickets will go to? Celtic fans. They'll go to their mates. Like we used to do it in Kilmarnock. My mate's bird, her dad was a fucking season ticket holder. He used to hand us his tickets and go on, use on them. I'm not going. We used to get his tickets all. I watched Celtic win the league at Kilmarnock in the fucking Kilmarnock end. I was waving across to every cunt I knew in the Celtic end.
Is that the
Me and I,
6-0 one?
no, it was before that. It was
Is it the one Nakamura
fuck.
scored in the last minute?
No, before that again, it was O'Neill in the year O'Neill won.
Right.
Who the fuck? I think Pavlov scored that day. Did I? It was 2004. 2004. We won the league, and but that's I could have got a fucking ticket for it because at that time they gave you the two ends. It wasn't a problem. But my mate Jerry went. I was sorted. I have our tickets and all. Her dad's came across them. And I went great. So I'm sitting eating the Kelly pies, listening to all the racist abuse they were giving every cut, and all was great. That was great. It was fucking great. I always tell that story. I was sitting. I'm near sure Petrov scored that day because there was an old fella sitting in front of us giving Petrov, he was calling all the fucking gypsy, fucking European fucking bastards of the day. And I'm sitting going, my mate Jerry's grabbing my leg because I just wanted to bite the cunt's head. He was sitting right in front of us. I just wanted to stick my teeth into his fucking head. And he was grabbing my leg going, just you settle the fuck down here. Don't start any trouble. It's my fucking, these are my Dan-law's tickets. And I was like, right. So I just fucking bit my tongue. He went and got me a pie, fucked the pie into my mouth, no killy pies. And what do you call it? Because I wanted to kill the cunt. So at half time, next thing this fucking younger fella, but maybe in his 20s, walked up the fucking stand beside us and walked in the row in front of us and sat down by the old fella. And he says, hello, feather. He says, hello, son. And the son went, what about that gypsy bastard Petrov? And fucking my mate Jerry grabbed my leg again. Was going, you keep your fucking mouth shut, you cunt, you're going to get us killed.
Oh, God.
Fucking gay. But Big Rod and all the ones with the Vogue were all over in whatever the fuck stand it was. I always get them two mixed up. I don't know if it was the Chalbeck or the Moffat, but I was waving across to all them. And then it turned out there was like maybe like 100 to 150 people in the stand who were all Celtic fans, and then we all just migrated down to the bottom,
Aye.
closest.
Aye.
So people were shouting, oh, he is wankers and all. We were all pulling their fucking tops up and showing Celtic tops, and they're all, yeah, they're all cheering. So it'll be the fucking same in Dundee United. Bet your balls. There's Celtic fans in Dundee going,
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
get that. There's my ticket. There's a tenner. Go get me one of them tickets.
Gypsy bastard Petrov's son is now mates of fucking Nigel
Well,
Farage.
in fairness, that wasn't Dundee United. It was Kilmarnock. So
Aye. Maybe the guys to the point. Fucking hell.
If only his
This
son
man
could
was a
fucking
premonition machine. He was like, fucking, yeah, cunt. He's going to ruin the country.
Who's to say that Kelly racist back in the day or what fucking forefront?
Who
Who
could have predicted Nigel Farage? Fuck me.
Honestly, God. Aye, that's still in Petrov. Fucking, he came out and made a couple of statements. I don't take any daily politics. Nah, my son's his own man. You know, fuck off.
Aye, you know what? That's a problem, mate.
Aye, definitely. But aye, so there you go. So what we thinking for Sunday? Are we confident? I'm mega confident.
I'm on top of the confidence. I am the cherry going like, you know what? Sid Johnson deserved one. And I think the buzz is good. I think the home stretch is opening up to the players. They're going like, you know what? Let's just fucking go and play. I do feel like there's a looseness coming. But again, get the gang back together. Keep Scales in there. Keep Taylor in there. Let them win this league.
Aye. And then with the hang, obviously, our second, we've obviously, once we've got Dundee United away, and then we're away to that lot. And I know I think Ange was he didn't care. See, when the league was won, it was kind of like, who cares? But I'm sure Brendan will be absolutely seething inside that lot of the better of us for probably the last 3 games we played them.
He will want to stick a big one on.
Aye, they beat us twice and then we drew. Obviously, Hampden and beat them in penalties, but arguably they were the better team. And
what's his biggest win at Ibrox? 5-1? Is that him?
I think he was that no Ange?
Well, Lustig scored the last one. Was that Ange? No.
I can't remember. I'm hopeless. I'm not entirely sure, Joe, to be honest with you.
We've beat them at many fucking times, but that's what's been so annoying this year. Do you know what I mean? But here's the thing too. Usually the old fucking end of the season dead rubbers and all is where, the shitty team like we did it for fucking years. Remember back in like Tommy Burns' day, they used to beat them in the last game of the season and think, "Ah, trust, we're back, we're fucking back," and then you get horsed again the next year. Do you know? So, but this is the other way around. Where we actually want Rodgers to go out and fucking blatter the fuckers,
Aye,
just to
there's
rub their
definitely
nose in it.
and plus you've got to have fans back in the stadium as well, so there's definitely
Yeah.
a right bit of needle there. The only like, end of season that I can always remember that sticks in my mind, because you kind of forget about it when you've won the league and stuff like that. You don't really care about other games. But the Neil Lennon, when Neil Lennon get the job, remember he was only kind of caretaker manager, or he only had the contract at the end of the year. I mind we won every game.
Yeah.
And it was
after Mowbray.
Aye, they'd won the league, and I can remember that last game of the season. It was goosebumps time. You know, it was like Everdale was just behind Neil Lennon, and
he was bringing the thunder back.
Thunderback. Aye,
it's not the end. It's only the beginning. No, that fucking shit.
It done absolutely amazing, and it's just one of these. But I wonder, like, maybe towards the end of the season, maybe Brendan will maybe have watched the game in San Mamés last night. Maybe he'll take into account. Maybe start handing bits of paper out to players and that. That looked quite professional, didn't it?
Play more staunchly.
Do you know what? I was straight in the
pretend you're wearing brogues.
I was sitting in another chat going like,
don't say disappointed in the aftermatch interview.
I'm amazed there wasn't tons. Is it not tons of memes going around of like what that says in his hands? That needs to be a fucking meme going around.
There was loads last night. I got
fucking brilliant, man.
What was that all about?
Maggots. Absolute dickheads.
I mean, I get. See, to be fair, San Mamés is fucking loud, right? When the Basques are on the fucking ball, the places like, because I've seen some photos, right? Was that roof closed last night? I've seen
it looked like it did. I
seen photos at the start and it was opened. But I don't know, towards the end, did they close it or whatever? I don't know, but the racket in the place was fucking wild, right? It was like fucking proper. So I don't know if that's why he did it, or but you say to yourself, what the fuck are you doing, pal? You know, it was just bizarre. And aye. So
yes, Rodgers was the manager at the 5-1 game.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
No, fuck
he
that.
was. He wasn't.
We'll find out. Hold on.
Let's find out how long. We need McCory for this kind of stuff.
I know.
Liam would probably know as well.
Do you know what? He hasn't had a win at Abrax in a long time.
Nah.
2-1 was the last one. Or 1-0. Oh no, he was 5-1. He was, yeah. Sorry, he was. Aye.
He was. Was he not the manager when Kyogo scored? The 1-0? Was that Ange? Start of the season?
That was Ange, no? That was Ange, no?
No, it couldn't have been. It was Rodgers, this is kind of his third year. It was 2 years ago when Kyogo scored. Was it Ange?
No, it was him. No, it was him. It was him.
It was Rodgers, aye.
24.
Aye. It was definitely Rodgers. Because I watched it in Italy. It was 2 years ago, was there? So,
well, one of the homeboys where we Google stats and even still fuck it up.
Aye, we've just got fucking no clue what we're talking about. So.
Anyway, here, we haven't talked about Manchester, John.
Well, the snooker.
Aye,
it was good. You got it too.
I know. It's nice to celebrate these things and fucking, say to folks how proud you are.
I thought massively. It was amazing. Proper good. I'll tell you one thing, at Manchester, we went and watched the game. Me, Ellie, and our Joe. Me and Ellie and our Joe, we went to, what was the name of the O'Shea's in Manchester. That's where the Celtic Supporters Club leave for. And went in there. And one of the boys that listens to the show, because I met him the week before, and we went in for a pint in the tune after the game. we ended up in the Crystal Bell and we watched the Rangers game away to Dundee. And he came out and Gab Leatherways and he listens to the show. So shout out, I can't remember the boy's name. What was his fucking name? But he was, so walked into a chaise and he came right out. And I'm like, I recognise that guy's face. It was the week before I was talking to him. I was like, how you doing? Him and his wife were in Manchester for a concert. So Gab Leather with him. But there was a right good, maybe about 30, 40 Celtic fans in watching the game. And to be fair to them, there was English games on, but they put the Celtic game on all the TVs. Maybe the English game on 1VTV. So Paul and Becky for Barnsley came as well, and we watched the Celtic game in there. So I missed the first frame because I just wanted to watch the end of the game, and obviously get beat St Johnstone. So hightailed it back. That Manchester City Centre, fucking what a place it is, man. See the investment in that place. Oh, it's stunning. But do you know what? See, but it was mental, right? It was Manchester Derby that day, and it was at Old Trafford. The amount of tourists that go to the games. There was guys with flags and like 40 Chinese people following them about with headphones and all with Man United gear on. The guys, I'm telling you, it's mental.
Like ticket tours, like.
No, they've obviously been brought out to watch Man United, and he's gaining the tour.
The package deal, when it comes to the package deal with ticket and stuff like that, I'd say.
Aye, so he's walking about Manchester, and they've all got the rucksacks and the Man United gear on and scarves and everything, and he's giving them a tour of Manchester. And obviously, next thing he would take away the game, and there was like just a amount of Irish there as well. Fucking hell, with Man United gear on. Oh, mental. It's like the amount of tourists they have that go to the games in the EPL must be fucking off the scale. Like your Man United, your Liverpools and that. Oh, mental. And I go and watch Everton, you don't really see any. You know, just fucking all Scousers and us. But like, you go to these games, it fucking opens your eyes. Bloody hell, the money they must be making. You know, because these folk will be spending fortunes in the club shops and everything. What I found quite strange, but I don't know if they have them, but I didn't see any, like, you think Man United would take like big superstores or the city centre? Maybe they have. I don't know. But I didn't see any. But anyway, the city centre is beautiful. Where the snooker venue is was right in the centre. And that was great. So, and I'll tell you one thing, that Mark Selby, what a class act he is. Him and his mates, after it all came and sat and got a beer with us and that.
That's a nice touch up.
Aye, proper nice guy, man. Really, really nice. Him and his wife.
Because it must be very disappointing. Like, snooker's such a fucking lonely sport. I mean,
exactly.
It's you versus John. It's a tough gig. And I'm remember the night John come on during COVID. You're like, what the fuck would possess you? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, I'm fucking down here on my own. I'm lucky enough I can find a chippy that's open. You know.
Aye,
and you're like, fuck, would you be fucking bothered? You know, it's such a tough gig. You know, and you're on the tour with all those boys and you know them really well, and it must be tough. You know, when you're in a final against somebody who you really like or your mate or whatever the fuck, there's just no love lost. You know what I mean? They just go for it, and it's such
you're in the employ of the sport, aren't you? Really?
Totally. Fuck me, big time. I mean, it's you against him. There's no team or no. I mean, fucking like it's serious. Like, and for John to be at the top for so long. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Jason. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Every single thing he wins now. The funny thing is, right, so he won the one out in China, but he's on his own over there, right? Denise had went to the one in Hong Kong, so she met him in Hong Kong after it. So he gets to China, he gets a bullet train for wherever he was to Shanghai, and gets a flight to Hong Kong. Denise meets him in Hong Kong. I think he get beaten in the quarters of the semis of that one in Hong Kong. So they had a few days there, and then they come back. So obviously that was the first tournament he'd won in years, but nobody was with him. So he gets to the final in Manchester, and we're all there, my mum's there and everything. So it was brilliant, and the way the game went was fucking mental because they shared the first two frames, and then John went 5-1 up, and you're like, here we go, just fucking nail it now. And then Selby wins the next 7. they go 8-5 up. And I'm sitting there, but do you know the funny thing was I kept watching John, and his body language was right positive. Like he was sitting up in the chair, and you're like, he still fancies the job. And so I said to everybody, I says, if he wins the next two, I would fancy him to win it. Now you go 8-7 down. And he did win the next two, and then he fucking won the next three. So he won 5 in a row to win it, and it was amazing. Obviously, he was buzzing and just came in. It was like back to the old days, because everybody was there, and then we always did a wee party after it. So it was back to the hotel, and then the bar stayed open till like 4 in the morning. The funny thing was, we get back to the bar, and there's all these folk with Man United gear on. That's how we were talking about. They're off in fucking Norway. I'm like, fucking, do you? I says, so I basically tell them I'm a Celtic fan and that, and I'm like, so do you know like a Norwegian team? No, just Man United. I'm like, how many games do you go to? Every home game? They're like, what? How much money do you spend? Oh, they're like thousands every year. And you're like, fucking hell. And it's like, and I says, do you know, understand like the animosity, like people from Manchester can't get tickets? They're like, yeah, I understand. It's no good. You know, because the young Mancunians and that won't get the chance to go to the games because it's all took by.
So it's not their team, really, is it? Like,
aye, but it is their team.
I know, but like, if it's so close but so out of reach.
Oh, are you talking about the young Mancunians? I'm talking about the Norwegians. Aye, I know, it's mad, and it's just fucking crazy how fuckers went, and it's like, just I don't like it.
Just to say, I was showing just to finish off with the snooker thing. I was showing Fiona the photographs. Obviously, me and your Joe were friends, and he photographs about, and it was all used together with John. And I feel like Fiona knows nothing about snooker, doesn't really give a fiddler's fuck. She's like, it's brilliant that they all go together. I mean, it's brilliant that everybody goes together. And you know what? I was like, it is brilliant that everybody just gathers around your brother and goes, you know what? This is brilliant.
So I was up in the kind of lounge bit, sort of thing, the final frame, and then when he was on the break, you knew he'd won it. So all goes down, and we're all standing at the side of the table. And then he gets obviously Denise and the kids, and they're all there. Then he sees my mum, he's like shouting to my mum, come on here. So mum's there, and I'm like, brilliant. And then he spies me, and Joe, he's like, come on. They're like, no. And he's like, come on. So me and Joe fucking stood there. But I didn't know this. I think Liam had taped it or whatever. He's like, as soon as fucking me and Joe walked there, they just went for the commercial break.
They must have a facial recognition thing going on. They go like, as soon as you step in the frame, go click. Let's go. Brilliant, mate. That's brilliant, though. Fantastic. I love that.
And one wee thing I'd like to say as well. I know I shared it on the Twitter. And I did. Me and Mick did a walk yesterday for pregnant women and kids in Gaza. We did it. It was a Grey Mare's Tail or something. It was like this kind of mountain up, down, like a Moffat way. So we went, and it was Islamic Relief that ran it, and there was a lassie for her work that organised it. So we went, a couple of minibuses, and it was a great day. And the people that ran it, they were so appreciative. Like, obviously, we're no Muslim, but they were so appreciative of us taking our time out and doing it. I tell you one thing, it was fucking tough. Like they're all as a dawdler walk. See the first third there. Oh my god, you're just climbing and climbing and climbing. I was blown out my arse. And but once you get to the top of it, then it's dead easy. The next 2/3 of it, you're kind of just walking, and you get to this big like lake at the top of the kind of mountain. And beautiful, but the weather was pissing the rain, and it was sunny and all that. I was thinking, but it was really, really good. And then we got back down, and I seen them like handing out these bits of paper, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, it's all right, guys, we're just doing afternoon prayer. And I'm like, oh, there we go. They were all doing it at the bottom of the mountain, doing their prayers and that. But so gentle people, and so nice, and so like appreciative of us. Like obviously I'm not for the Muslim community, but to go there and help them and be like and they were absolutely lovely, and it was just a pleasure to take. So everybody that sent sponsor money, and Liam and that, whatever, everybody that sent sponsor money, much appreciated, and they couldn't be thankful enough. And I think we raised, I don't know, it was like, I can't remember, it was like 16,000 or something like that between us all. But it was really good, and it was a great wee day, and just big thanks to all the folk that invited us along to take part in the thing, and they were so nice, just lovely, and it was good. So I did that, and obviously it's horrific what's going on still, and
we are in a very
Palestine. It's just
we are on the edge of a very changing world, aren't we? Like,
it's fucking horrific. It's just
we are. I mean, it's hard to deny. At one point, at one point, I feel my mood flipped to things can get better. Just things will just get different.
Jovis, night is darkest just before the dawn.
The dawn of what? The dawn of what, Mario? The dawn of what is my thing?
Well, let's fucking see.
I mean,
the only day we were a bit was the day we weren't there.
That's true. I like that. Hey, listen, as the great philosophers said, Marty, and you know this as well as I do.
The great philosopher once wrote,
no. Listen,
naughty, very naughty.
Two greatest philosophers in the world, they said one great thing, and you know this too: be excellent to each other.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, there's plenty of good people out in the world, so let's just ride this wave and see where it fucking takes us. It's not the first time we've faced cunts like this.
I know, but see when you meet cunts, though, here's this thing. There's too many cunts about.
But here's the thing, right?
Too many of them.
See, about 4 weeks ago, PJ, who'll probably be listening tonight, PJ had a young Palestinian man from Gaza up in Belfast. I took him to the Antler match. Taib, and he was overwhelmed by the reception he got. Everybody was, as you know, falling over him, fucking looking after him, whatever else. And I spoke to Taib, and he was saying, it's amazing. And the fella, God love him, he's going through fucking hell, genuine hell, like hell that we can't comprehend. Worrying about family members and people in Gaza who he's lost and whatever else. And I said to him, look, he was talking about the martyrs and the Palestinian martyrs, and I was saying, listen, but one of our martyrs nailed it. It's not those who inflict the most, it's those who endure the most that will win. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If you believe it's that undauntable thought, if you think you're right, no one can beat you. They can't do it. So that's my thought for the day. So Jerry Springer also said, take care of yourselves and each other.
Marty says, stand tall.
Yep, exactly. So we'll just raid this fucking shit out. Night is darkest just before the dawn.
I used to have a girlfriend called Dawn. She was fucking dark as fuck.
Yeah, up at dawn. Up at dawn.
Hey, did you not call her Sunrise?
Fucking. I called her Crack. Crack of dawn.
Have I to declare wrap it up the fuck here or what?
I think we may be coming up to grab it.
Wrap it up to fuck. God bless Sally. It's Easter. It's Easter. Easter's a special time in Ireland, right? So we remember those who have gone before us in Ireland. It's Easter again, and we cannot forget the brothers and sisters and all that was said. So practice your pipe, stand proud in the wet, for the eyes of the world are upon you. Very, very special time for people in Ireland. So I just want to wish everybody around the world, all our diaspora, many of whom are listening in. I want to give a big shout out to Sean Butler for helping me buy a copy of Playboy.
Do you know what? Is this something what Danny Mars was in?
Oh, Sean, I got it. God bless him. The cunt who had it wouldn't fucking ship the iron, so Butler, in fairness,
I thought Butler had the bottom of his fucking wardrobe or something out there.
I sent Butler a message saying, have you got an eBay
And the
account?
heat lamps
And
and
he,
fucking sticking
no,
in
but I sent Butler a message saying, have you got an eBay account? And he said, nah. So I went, fucking bollocks, I'm trying to get something here. And he went, oh, how long is that? You might have actually thought this was a scam. So fucking God bless him. And do you know who's on the front of it? Your woman there, the Baywatch. What's her fucking name? She's on the front of it.
Tom Addison.
No.
Erica.
Erica, that's exactly her.
Fuck's her
She's
name.
gorgeous. Pamela Anderson was a fucking mutt. I always thought she was ugly, but your woman Erica was gorgeous. Alini, or something you call her. Erica Alini or something like that. But here, she's on the fucking front of it. So God bless Johnny Butler.
She was
Buy me a jazz mag. Nobody
Squirrel.
says to me who the cheeky bastard he was. Marty, I've got that fucking mag for you here. But I haven't. He says I haven't opened the packaging. I just hope the pages aren't stuck together.
Mind we were all playing on the woods and all, you'd see all scud books lying in trees and all. You're like,
What happened to them?
Weren't they good days?
Wait, dog shit. What happened to wait? What happened to wait, dog shit?
The white dog.
Exactly. By the way, see, before we go, I need to tell you a story, right? Fucking funny as fuck. Mick, when we were doing the walk, he's just back from Florida. He went, him and his missus and the 3 kids, they went to Florida.
I seen the photos on Facebook.
And it was his partner and her daughter. Him, Mick and the 2 boys, they went to Disney and they went to Universal, and they absolutely loved the whole. They had a great time, but they weren't mad on Disney, right? The rides and all weren't as good and whatever. But Chloe and her daughter, they liked Disney. The daughter's a wee bit younger, so she loved Disney. So they went back for a day. It was the Saturday. It was a week after they had been there, and they'd been full on and gone to all the parks and everything. So anyway, they decided the 2 of them would just go. So Mick and the 2 boys, Niall and Finn, they says, like, we'll just have a day at the pool. So they had a villa with a pool, and he said at 1 o'clock the sun went away from where the pool was. So there was a communal pool in like the estate sort of thing they were staying in. So they went into that. It was all just families. And he says there was an African American family sitting there. And he says, so they were all sitting there. So the African American family, they were like in the pool, and the mother and father, they had a son about 16 and a daughter about 18 months, Mick reckons. So she's in a wee like blow up thing. I don't know if it was a daughter or a son, maybe it was 2 sons, I can't remember, but it was a baby anyway, about 18 months, in like a wee blow up thing. So it's got a wee boat playing about with the boat. So the dad and that's playing about with it then. So the mum and dad went to the other side of the pool, and the teenager was looking after them, right? So the wee Wayne wasn't even talking, right? Just making noises and stuff like that, playing with his boat. So the teenager looked away for a wee bit, right? And Mick is sitting looking at this, and the Wayne had lost its boat, right? So it's trying to splash to get the boat, and it couldn't find it. It couldn't find it. Right? The wee guy wasn't turning around. Mick's laughing that the Wayne's fucking trying to find this boat. And then all you hear, fucking, motherfucker. Max like that. The 2 boys have looked round and like, what the fuck? Did that come from the Wayne? The Wayne's went again, motherfucker. Can I check the dad? The dad swam right out. The dad swam right out. It's like to me, are you cussing?
Holy fuck.
Oh my god, it dealt with it. I fucking couldn't see. Oh god, Ellie was getting lost in the pub last night. I tell Ellie that story.
Motherfucker.
It's like, are you cussing?
Brilliant. Fucking hell.
Oh, my.
TV hangs out when you're on holiday and stuff. It's fucking brilliant, isn't it?
I love shit like that. I love. See when you get like cultures crossing like on holidays they got there. It's just the best. Some of the best shit happens. Like
Aye.
you just see some of the best shit. And you go, what the fuck?
See, when he tells us, I always reminded my mate Lenny from Belsill. Lenny's a fucking character. I think you may have met him. But anyway, Lenny, years ago, him and his missus were down in Florida. They were in Miami, I think. And then they were there for a week, and then they were going to Mexico. So they're on the flight in Miami, and Lenny sat down. And this big African American boy's come in. He sat down next to Lenny, right? Big barrier guy. So he sat there. So he's like to Lenny, aye. How's things? Are you enjoying it? He said, I enjoyed Miami. Good food and that. Yeah. We've been for some good meals and that. Lenny says he's sitting there. The big boy just said that to him. He says, you ever tasted a rattlesnake? So Lenny's like, no, I've no taste of rattlesnake. He says, what's it taste like? He says, the big guy's like that, and I'm doing the actions, and he's like picking some with his teeth while he's talking, right? He's well like that. Tastes a little bit like dog.
What the fuck?
It's a little bit like dog. What the fuck?
Fucking dog eater. That's like a dog when the Ballymurphy at 7:30 and come out 8:30. Right, wrap this up the fuck.
Folks, that was good fun. It was good talking to you. Folks, we're back. Scott McCoy back next week with some facts and stuff.
With proper content. Fuck him.
And other than that,
piece of shit.
Other than that, talk to you later.
Hail, troops.
Hail.